Hey, how you doing, YouTube? What's up? It's Joe D, man, and I thought it would be appropriate to talk about. Let me see. Right now, I'm in the pro. I have to update my Facebook page, so I'm trying to keep that updated as well. I'm trying to do a better job. I haven't been doing a good job of that, and so I'm trying to do a better job. Let me see. I put the wrong link in there, so let me edit the post. So those of you that do, there is some people that like to keep up on the Facebook. So here's the link. There we go. Unediting. There we go. Okay. So now the proper link is in there. Okay. So the Facebook is updated. There we go. That's good. Hey, what's up, man? We got what is that? Kenny in there? TN Kenny? Was that Tennessee Kenny maybe? But I thought it'd be appropriate to talk about the New Year's show. So because I was just made aware of something, and I didn't know. It's kind of like I remember the first time I had a friend that shaved his legs, and I was like, "You shave your legs? What?" I mean, I knew of swimmers that shaved, but if you're not a swimmer, you're just some dude and you shave. My question was with this cat, like, where do you stop? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, do you stop at the knee? Do you stop mid thigh? Do you stop at the hip? Do you just go full manscape? You know what I'm saying? What's up? So this kind of, I was just made aware of something. So, hey, what's up, Tom? So I didn't quite know where to start this year. It looks like there's a lot of want for this. I did this last year, if you guys remember. Well, going into 2017, I did all the American time zones, with the exception of Hawaii. I didn't do Hawaii. By the time I got to Hawaii, a little slurry. You know what I'm saying? So as a matter of fact, I think I even got rid of the West Coast time because I was like gone by that time. So with that in mind, I was just made aware of, okay, well, are you going to do Australia? Are you going to do the UK? Are you going to do like, I'm like, oh man, I'm not Leo Laporte. Now, Leo Laporte does, I don't know, what is there, 20 some time zones in the world? Or he does like pretty much all the time zones. I don't know if he still does, but at least he used to. But in any case, I don't know. And I just looked up, I'll show you guys, man. I just looked up, and this is what kind of was like. It was like, okay, are you gonna do Australia? And I looked up Australia, bro. There's 4 time zones in Australia, and they're literally separated by like a half hour. Like right now, it's 8:38 in Australian Western Time Zone. It's 9:23 in the Australian Central Time Zone. These are standard time zones. 10:08. Dude, what the hell's up with these times in the Australian Central Standard Time Zone? And then in the Australian Eastern Time Zone, it's 10:38. You know how hammered you could get just getting through the Australian time zones? And then you got this Lord Howe daylight time zone. But so I don't know, man. I don't know how far this has got to go. Yeah, Kenny says the same thing. I'm always plastered by the time I get to Hawaii also. So, oh my God. So, yeah, I don't know, man. How far do you go with this? Now, if I go just GMT, I was thinking, okay, you know what, man? Let's just go Greenwich time, which right now it's 12:29. I think I'm going to do that. Unless there's any particular protest, I think we can do that like 12:29 right now. And right now for me, it's 5:49. So I don't know how far in the future is that, right? But I think that gives me enough time because right now I think Eastern time is what, 2 hours ahead of me. So right now it's 5:49. So I think it's 7:49 in the East Coast of America. So I think that would give me enough time. I could do GMT, and that would kind of cover anybody that's not in America. You know what I'm saying? And then try to do the 4 American time zones, and then we should be good. Yes, there is a show. Kent, Kent, poor guy. What did he say his name's? Craig. But I'm gonna say Kent's just easier for me, bro, because I see Kent, and that's like a first name for somebody, right? So, but there is a Friday show, this Friday, and I am off, so it could be a long one. I am going to refrain from saying that it's not going to be a 5-hour show. It's not going to be a 6-hour show. Well, because you know what, we did the 5-hour show, and I said I'd never do another 5-hour show again, and we didn't. We did 6 hours. So you know what I'm saying. So that's how that rolls, right? So yeah, we're definitely gonna have a Friday show, because that is going to be the beginning. This Friday is the beginning of me taking my time off. So right now I'm finishing up the Chocovesa, and this is the last of my Chocovesa, celebrating the Rams' absolute abomination, soul-crushing win over the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah! 42-7. They were lucky to get that touchdown too. We already had like our third string left water bucket in at that time. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Absolute crush Seattle, which is our division rival. So it was a huge game for us. Anyway, we've got hey, what's up, man? We got Drunken One in here, man. We haven't had him in here for a while. Let me put the link in the chat. We can have a discussion about this. I've got one beer here because I didn't plan on this being a super long show. I just wanted to have a little discussion about New Year's and that sort of thing. And yeah, Craig, yeah. Dude, it's just too confusing to me because I see Kent, and you're just gonna have to be Kent, bro. That's just the way my brain works, right? So forgive me ahead of time. I've got people that call me all sorts of crap as well, so I understand. I tell them, look, just don't call me ever late for dinner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're good after that. You know what I'm saying? You call me late for dinner, I'll be pissed. Right? So, you know, call me. Oh, yeah. No, I won't get into all that. Yeah. Yeah, see, Seattle needs a cup of coffee. Dude, they needed a cup of coffee before, right, to wake up, because smelling salt, something, because they were not there. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, man, I absolutely love when the Rams dominate like that. It is awesome. Happened to watch. Did anybody watch that middleweight boxing championship fight last night on HBO? I am still a boxing fan. I'm not a super hardcore. I don't know all the fighters and all this sort of stuff. I'm not even gonna pretend to know. But last night was a great fight. You had the middleweight champion from, I forget, I don't know, WBC or WBA, or I forget exactly which federation, but it was his first time fighting in North America, because he fought in Canada. He fought that, I think, what was their names? Anyway, I forget the name, but oh my God, just totally from the opening bell, just totally dominated that Canadian dude, that dude from the UK. Just what amazing footwork. The guy was just so light on his feet, just dancing around. The guy would swing it. He swung at air. I wish I knew how many punches he just swung at the air. It just total domination, and that's how bad we dominated. The Rams dominated. I say we, like I actually played the game, right? I feel like I do, right? Because you're that involved in the game. In any case, getting back to the topic of the show, discussion for a New Year's show. So, so it seems like there is some serious interest. So I think we'll do it the same way. For now, unless I get some pushback, I'll just do GMT. We'll do GMT, and that'll have to cover everybody across the pond. And I would like to now, for those of us that are, for those long time supporters of the show, and the people that are super close to the show, I sent a gift. I sent some glasses, and I'm hoping that we can get the same beer to at least celebrate. And it should be a glass similar to this one. This is my new favorite pub glass. I know this one's a little dirty, but it's a beautifully styled glass. I like the way it drinks, and I thought we could, celebrate drinking this with, the same brew. So I'd like to have a discussion on that as well. And we happen to have Zach in here, and I know he had mentioned something. He might be able to help us out with the beer situation. So we'll see if he comes through with that. But in any case, I'd like to have at least one beer that we could all drink. At least, like I said, the main supporters. And that I sent the glasses to, and at least have the same beer in the same glass on New Year's. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really cool. So just a little, something extra special for this year's show, right? And then of course you have to up the game every year, so we'll see what happens in the future. But Lennox Lewis. Yeah, another great UK boxer. He was awesome. Yeah, Zach says, yeah, train on the wheels, Joe. Come on, man. Share a beer bleeds focus and stability. Yeah. Like we ever stay focused on anything here, right? It's just kind of it's just kind of some kind of organized chaos sometimes, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the way we just kind of roll here. Now I noticed, speaking of American football, right now we're kind of in between the on the East Coast they consider them the evening games, and then you go into the super evening game, I guess. Here, this is kind of the end of our afternoon games, and then we go into the evening game. So I'm just going by what happens here in Phoenix. And so it's right before the evening game for us, the late game. Or is the late game, it's about to start, right? Or if it hasn't started already. But the Steelers lost. They played the Patriots, right? Which was supposed to be a pretty tough game. I didn't watch any of it because that was on during the Rams game. You had, 2 games yesterday that I didn't pay absolute any attention to whatsoever. And I think the Chargers lost to the Chiefs, and I don't even know who was playing in the other game, I think. I'm trying to go by memory here. I don't know the scores exactly of those other games. I think the Cardinals, and I know this only because they're local here in Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals lost to the Redskins today at Washington. So that game was on early for us. That was our morning game here. You have 11 a.m. games here. Before you move into standard time when you're still on daylight time, those are 10 a.m. games here. So, football starts super early here. Eli Manning actually showed up, but I don't know, kind of a bunk play there at the end to which would have tied it up, I think, or something, right? Something like that. Let's see here. The Vikings sealed the deal, right? I think they won, and who do they play? Like Cincinnati? Are you kidding me? Yeah, but they won, which locked them in for sure. I think for a first round bye. I think, or was that the Eagles? No, the Eagles locked a playoff berth, but I think Or do I have that backwards? It was one of the. I think they're both in the playoffs for sure. The Eagles and the Vikings are in the playoffs in the NFC. And I thought it was the Vikings that locked the first round bye, but it could be. I could have that backwards, but I thought it was the Vikings. The Patriots, of course, locked in a playoff berth. I don't know if they quite locked in that. They might have locked in their first round bye, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. I don't know. What beer do you think, just to kind of move things around, all scattered all over the place? I'm trying to think of what beer that everybody can get their hands on that we might be able to have. Heck, I'm trying to think. I think it's either got to be Rogue or Stone. I'm not sure if everybody can get Chocovesa or not. That would be awesome. I think it's got to be Rogue or Stone, right? Some sort of, and it don't have to be none too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let's Lime Marita. You know what's funny? I don't know that everybody in America can get Lime Marita. I don't know if everybody across the pond can get Lime Marita either. That'd be awesome, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Everybody can get Budweiser, that's for sure. I mean, I don't think we want to do that, though. But if we had to, I mean, we could. I mean, I think everybody can get like a PBR, right? Or a Guinness. Yes, yeah, that's a good one, Tom. Yeah, we might be able to get a Guinness. So we'll talk about it today. Try to kind of narrow it down, and then we'll talk about it on the big show this Tuesday. Going into Friday, and then we can still talk about it Friday, because then we'll still have to have that show. Let me see what. Boop, 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 boop. Let me pull up my calendar. I don't want to mistalk or misspeak. Let me see. Oh wow. Okay, so New Year's Eve is 2 Sundays from now. Okay, so hell, this time not next Sunday, because next Sunday is Christmas Eve. So this time 2 Sundays from now, not this Sunday, but the next coming Sunday, we'll already be well into celebrating this whole hell, we'd be, if this is correct, let me see. Yeah. Wait, oh, yeah, series. Okay, never mind, Siri. Cancel. Yeah, cancel.
Okay, I found something on the web for cancel. Take a look.
Yeah, no. I don't need that. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. I didn't even ask Siri anything. That's hilarious. I didn't even ask Siri anything. But so we'd be an hour into our Greenwich time, right? Because right now it's 1:02 Greenwich time, or probably 1:03 Greenwich time. So we'd be already at least an hour past. So I don't know. What do you think's good enough? Like maybe 15 minutes? I mean, we don't need to do a super long deal. Just kind of a, hey, we're into the New Year's, and blah blah blah, and kind of moving on to the next one. Let's see. So that would be 6:30. I mean, that would be 6. Let me see. So that would be 5 for me. So right at 5 p.m. would be. I need to write that down. Let me write that down. So 5 p.m. would be for Greenwich. So 5 p.m. For GMT New Year's. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do a quick little show, just kind of, hey, New Year's and all that. 2018 and all that sort of thing. And then let me see, so that would be 5. And then at 5, let me see, so midnight, so 10. Then for me, 10 p.m. starts it. So then from 10 p.m. on, I'm doing it. So that gives me enough time. It gives me enough time. So time to kick back a little bit, and then it'd be on, right? Then I've got 4 more New Year's to do, and okay, all right. Yeah, I think we could do that, man. Like I said, we'll just do that Greenwich time really quick, just like a quick, 15, 20-minute deal. And what kind of music do we need to have? Was last year's music okay? Was that all right? Let me see. Oh, let me see. We had Mr. Angus. He watched my old review of Guinness Extra Stout today. Yeah, it was a good beer. Oh, this is already hilarious, man. We got quite the chat going here, man. Thanks, guys, for jumping in, man. I appreciate it. We got quite the chat room going. But so we'll have that, and then I get a nice little break from probably, let's say, 5:30. So from 5:30 to 10, I can, or just before 10, right? I can kind of kick back a little bit. So that's enough time for me. And then from that point, it's on, son, right? But I'd like to have probably Guinness, huh? I think Guinness is the beer. I think Tom's right. I think Tom had that one right. Yeah, we'll just nothing crazy. Guinness Extra Stout, though. I think we gotta go extra stout. I don't think we want regular Guinness. We want something with a little more flavor, a little more punch, right? So maybe if we all had Guinness Extra Stout or Founders. Well, because if people are jumping in at Greenwich time and they're across the pond, they can probably still get Guinness. So Founders would be good for us in America. I don't know that across the pond could. So maybe we have 2 beers. Maybe it's either breakfast stout, the Founders breakfast stout, or the Guinness extra stout. I think the extra stout is better. Yeah, I don't want to do just the drought. The extra stout is good. Yeah, let's do that. So Guinness extra stout. I'm gonna write that one down too. Guinness extra stout. Yeah, and we'll talk about it on the big show on Tuesday, and cover it. Or just any old stout. Yeah, if you happen to can't find any, or you just get lazy or whatever. Yeah, I mean nothing's how it is here. Nothing's an absolute. But for the cast that have the glasses, so that we can all at least have the same beer for that New Year's, that would be awesome. But either way, man, actually, speaking of Budweiser earlier, I mentioned Budweiser earlier. This is one of my last. I think I have one more left of these Imperial Repel Reserve Amber Lagers, the 1933. Oh, look at that smoke, Neary. Not super good, smoke, but eat it, Neary. Yeah. Nonetheless. Oh, man. Nice. So, oh, wait. Earth. I don't want Earth to get all hurt. So, got to do the tappa tappa. It really worked. You know what? Ever since he said that, and if I'm going to take a picture or anything, I've been tappa tapping. Look at that. What a difference, huh? It is pretty good. That is a cool trick, man. I mean, just the color of the beer. Look at that beer. I mean, look at that nice ruby kind of. It's kind of like a ruby reddish, amberish kind of tone to it. Look at that. It is just it does have a nice color, and that head is, you know, it's kind of a nice. It's a lighter tan, but you know, not a darker tan, but it's a lighter tan, and it's got more flavor than a regular bud. I mean, it's, you know, I haven't bought any more. This is still that original 6 pack that I had bought. Um, so I think I've still got one more in there, and then that's the end of this brew. I'm just kind of glad to still have it. You know, it is the beer that, you know, was supposed to be the original recipe of Budweiser before Prohibition. So, you know, this is what America was drinking, you know, before the Prohibition. So I think that's pretty cool, at least. It is definitely a much different beer than what we get now, which was, you know, as we all know, right? They had to start watering down the beer and all this sort of thing to keep it going. So yeah, Earth is Earth is laughing. Let me see. I don't think I'm one of the elite. Well, no, I mean, you know, that Sparky's in there, right? No, it's not a matter of that. It's just a matter of, you know, Earth's been a long time supporter of the show. Tom has been a strong supporter of the show. There's one other guy that hasn't got back in touch with me just yet, and he's been a pretty strong supporter of the show for quite a while, and so I haven't sent him any glasses yet. But if he gets in touch with me, he's the last one, and then that's it. But pretty much everybody else has theirs. Let me see. Maybe he did. Let me see. I don't think so though. No, I don't think so. But it's just, you know, a little something. It's not anything major, but you see, I just thought it'd be cool to have not only the same type of beer, but, you know, drinking out of the same glass, so we're all getting a very similar experience. You know what I'm saying? And going into New Year's, and I thought it'd be kind of cool. But this Lord, all these different Australian times. Mark made me aware of it on his show. Mark's show just ended a while ago. His photography show. For those that, it's literally, I get asked every once in a blue moon what happened to Mark and where his show is at and all this sort of thing. All Mark does nowadays is his podcast, his Financial Clarity podcast, because for those that don't know, Mark is a financial planner. And so that's what he does for a living. He works for himself, and that's what he does for a living. So look for the Financial Clarity podcast from Mark. He does a really good show. He really does. It's really well thought out, and he has like a little, hey Terrence, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. And he really does a good job. But other than that, he has his Mark's Photography Spot podcast show here on YouTube that is on every Sunday, and you can tune into that if you're a fan of photography, of course, as I am, as you guys know. I am a photographer as well as a truck driver and beer freelancer. I love that name, man. Instead of just being some damn beer reviewer, man, you know, Deschutes gave me that name. A beer freelancer, and I like that, man, because I consider myself like a freelance photographer as well. I don't make a main living from it. I don't make hardly any of a living anymore from it. I don't hardly ever get paid. I mostly pay out a lot of money to do my photography. It costs me a fortune. But where are you from, Terrence? Where I don't think I've seen you before in here. What part of the globe are you coming from? We've got Kent in the UK, Drunken Ones in Texas, and Earth's in California. Tom's in Boston. Zach, of course, is in Denver. Mr. Angus Wongus, I don't remember where you're at, man. I don't know what part of the globe you're at. You have to refresh my memory. And that about covers everyone except for TN Kenny. I don't know. Did you say where you're at? I don't know where he's at either. I don't know if he's in Tennessee. I don't know if TN stands for Tennessee or what that stands for. Oh, Canada. Okay, cool. What part of Canada? Because, oh, Terrence is in Ireland, a Guinness drinker from Ireland. So he's not going to have any objection, of course, to having Guinness Extra Stout for the beer. We have had a long time supporter of this show. Also, he hasn't really tuned in quite some time either, but he does reach out to me on Instagram. Let me pull up my Instagram here. You guys might want to. You're more than welcome to check me out on any of my social networks. I don't. You guys know I'm a pretty much an open book. So here's Instagram. Let me see here. So here's my page here. I made these ribs earlier today. That was my lunch, and that was pre-Rams game. That was good. You got to have good food on game day. You know what I'm saying? So I had calabacitas, a little extra spin on the calabacitas. I kind of prepared them on the stove and cast iron, of course. This is a different cast iron pan that I use mostly for serving, but I sometimes still cook in it. But I cooked it on the stovetop, of course. And then I finished it in the broiler on high in the broiler. I cooked it all on the stove. And calabasitas is a basic Mexican dish, New Mexican mostly. But cooked it on the stove, all good. And then I put the cheese all over it, and then put it in the broiler for 5 minutes. Oh, baby, right? So good. This particular batch I made was so hot too. It was really spicy. But that just kind of adds to it, makes it really good. And then these pork ribs, I have to admit, I didn't make them all the way. I bought them kind of half made. They sell them like that in the Mexican market, kind of half made, and then you finish them at home. So all you have to do really is just kind of cook them a little more in the oven, and then just put your favorite barbecue sauce on them, and they're good to go. They fall off the bone and everything. And so that's what I did. Kind of cheated, but it makes it nice. And I put my favorite barbecue sauce, which is Rudy's barbecue sauce from Rudy's Barbecue, which is a smaller barbecue chain out of Texas, actually. So, but they happen to have 2 restaurants here in Phoenix. They have a few in Albuquerque, which is where I'm from, where I've lived for a long time. So that's where I'm familiar with Rudy's from. But I love Rudy's. This is their spicier version. They have the white label, which is their spicy sauce, and then they have their yellow label, which is what they call their sissy sauce, which is not as spicy and it's more sweet. And then, of course, I had a Rogue Penitent Pale Ale with that. You could see that poured there. But yeah, that's how I served it. It was really delicious. But in any case, that's my. This is the calabasitas as I was preparing it there, so you could see that's what it looked like before it cooked down, and then that's the ingredients all separated and everything. So you're welcome to check it out. That's from the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, probably about 4 years ago now. That's the big bumblebees. They're pretty much at every Balloon Fiesta every year. But to catch them kissing like that is kind of cool. Sometimes they'll do it in the main Fiesta Park, or sometimes they do it wherever they land. So it's just a matter of being wherever they decide to do it. But they usually will have them kiss like that. The bumblebees, they're a long-standing tradition of the Balloon Fiesta. And this is some of my model photography that I do. This is you guys have seen her on the Share Beer show. Charlie has actually been on share a beer one time. For those of you that might remember or not, I don't remember if it was a Friday show or the Tuesday show, but she was on one time, or maybe it was just one of those weekend shows. It might have been a weekend show. I don't remember what show, but she was on one time. Yeah, because she still talks about it. Pretty cool. She's a Playboy model that I've shot with a bunch of times. A lot of fun. So that's my Instagram, Jody Photography. You're more than welcome to follow me. Check it out. As you see, I post a lot of different images, a lot of different stuff. Anything that I'm doing particularly, I post. And then I have a little bit of a Oreo thing and Hostess thing. If I find different flavors of cupcakes or Hostess treats, I buy them and I take them to work. Or Oreos, I buy pretty much any new flavor that's coming out, and I take them to work and share them with all the guys at work. And there's my little grandson. Uh, he's awesome, man. I love my grandson. But yeah, this is just and these sunrise photos, I post these to show people, hey, look, this is what you can do with your phone. You know what I'm saying? You could, the best for photography is created with the phone, with the camera you have on you, and just to show people you can create, uh, you know, good photography or decent photography with even your phone. And so uh, these sunrise photos are done with my phone. So um, and of course I post those every morning because I see the sunrises every morning. So that's my Instagram. That is the social network that I'm on the most. So if you want to follow me and keep up, that'd be good. Oh, okay. So you're near Niagara Falls. Mr. Angus says he's near Niagara Falls. I used to be stationed there in upstate New York on the Americans close to Niagara Falls, near Seneca, New York. So Romulus, New York, Seneca, New York, that area. Finger Lakes region, right? Yeah, foreign extra stout. Tom says, can we get foreign extra stout if we can't find it, or stick with the original? Yeah, absolutely, man. It just like Sparky said, man. Any generic stout, really. I mean, you know how it is, Tom. I mean, any ain't no hurt feelings at all if you can't happen to find a Guinness, But if you can, that's great, Um, and then yeah, I don't remember if Sparky said he was a Houston fan. I don't know if he said he was a Houston Texans fan or if he even liked football. I don't remember how that conversation went. I think I asked him. I don't remember if he said he was a Dallas, because I thought he was closer to Houston than Dallas. Um, so I don't remember him saying he was a Dallas fan, because that always sticks in my head when I meet a Dallas fan, especially in Texas. That always sticks in my head. Uh, and then of course we have Craig and Kent Sperry. I'm all of a sudden I'm remembering his name. But Craig from Kent's Beer Reviews. Um, he does great reviews, man. I watch his reviews on my Apple TV actually. So, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? What's going on, Andrew?
Oh, recovered after the other night from work, or the other day actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you slept like, I don't know, 12 hours or something, you said?
Yep. I literally, after I got home, I think it was Tuesday afternoon, I was putzing on computer for maybe about an hour. I went to bed and I didn't get up until about 4:30, 4:45 the following morning.
Wow.
Yeah, when I sleep and when I'm tired, I sleep hard.
Yeah, man, you ain't kidding.
It's like I didn't even move.
Wow. And do you wake up with all the drool and everything hanging on the pillow? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that happens.
You know what, man? Like if I sleep super hard like that, I'm a hot sleeper. So I'll wake up sweaty. I don't care how
Oh,
cold it is.
I do too. I wake up like a stuck pig.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, sometimes halfway through the night, I'll throw the covers off and they get a little cool. I'll pull them back on, throw them on and off thing.
it grosses me out a little bit because I sweat when especially if I sleep really hard, like you're saying.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll sweat so much the pillow it gets wet, and so I have to switch
Yep.
pillows because once I kind of wake up a little bit and realize the pillow's wet, I'm like, ugh. And then I have to switch pillows, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yep. Getting the beard back too a little bit.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay. We got a Minnesota boy in here. And for those that don't know, Andrew's in Minnesota. Did you happen to see the curling U.S. trials yesterday?
Actually, no. But Minnesota is the you could say Mecca for curling.
Yeah.
Of the world.
Have you curled?
No, I have not. I would like to. It looks like a very interesting sport to do. It's kind of like the easiest way to describe curling, for those who do not know the sport or have never watched it in the Olympics, whatever. It is like an ice version of the game croquet that you play out in your backyard.
Right.
Yeah, the object is to get your stone into a certain position and knock other players out of that position.
Okay, now I've got to ask because we got Minnesota boy in here, so I got to ask. Okay, curling to me seems like the ultimate like fat guy bar thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like some bars have a little tabletop version of shuffleboard or.
Well, up here, Joe, you would actually love it considering you're part Italian.
Yep.
Bocce ball.
Oh,
all Italian bars have bocce ball, and they have a bocce ball sand pit. There's one not far from me right now.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny is
also it's also played at all the local fire stations by the fire crews as well, because there was a lot of Italians, Norwegians, Swedes, Germans that were involved, that lived in the city, and they also worked for the fire departments years ago, and generational thing.
Now Swedes and Norwegians and all that sort of thing I pictured and I get, and even Germans, but not Italians. I don't remember seeing a lot of Italians when I was in Minnesota.
There's St. Paul. We got a neighborhood that is called Railroad Island. They call this neighborhood Railroad Island because railroads kind of surround it, and the only way onto or off of the island is by one of 7 bridges.
Okay, and so I think what you're getting at is there's a lot of Italians on there.
Well, yeah, believe neighborhood wise, yes. This would be like the little Italy of St. Paul.
Okay, so what happened is all the Swedes and Norwegians like trapped them on that island, and we're like, yeah, dude, you stay there.
No, actually one of the locations around Railroad Island was called Swede Hollow. So Swedes are over there too.
Oh wow, okay.
So, and it's just amazing the history of St. Paul if you ever want to look back, because a lot of Norwegians, Swedes, Germans, Italians, Poles, Eastern, Western Bloc countries, even some Russians, they came here, and being that Minnesota is your consummate farmland, I mean, you had farmers planting crops like you couldn't believe.
Yeah, now see, Mr. Angus says there's a lot of Italians where he's at, and I know there's a lot of Italians up there because I remember back in the day going to and it's I didn't know the first thing about Niagara Falls, but when I went up there my first time, I remember so many like Italian restaurants on the Canadian side. On the Canadian side, it was like, Lovers, this and that, and a lot a lot of lover type themes sort of thing, and there was a lot of Italian restaurants. I remember that, so that makes sense. And then from driving truck through Canada, and particularly that region of Canada, yeah, I do remember a lot of Italian influence up there. Absolutely.
Well, believe it or not, down in Louisiana, you're I don't know what they call themselves down there. The Louisianans that came down from that migrated there from Canada. The
Cajuns.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
They brought down with them they speak French,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of throws you off down there. It's like, okay, why are we speaking French down here? And you actually look at the backstory. It was when all these Canadians decided to migrate south, and they brought a lot of their recipes with them, and they also modified them accordingly for the area that they were living in, what they were getting out of the ground. When you look at all these special, you look at all these spicy dishes that they make, like crawfish and whatever else have you.
Yeah. Well, so. Did you hear our discussion that we were talking? Well, of course, the show title is "Discussion for New Year's Show." Did you hear any of that discussion at all, or you're just kind of jumping in?
I'm just jumping in.
Okay.
I just had to run out to Walgreens because they screwed up and didn't make a photo CD for my mom for some pictures and stuff, and I want to throw it on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Got some old pictures of the house when I decorated it up for Christmas. Long time ago.
Awesome. How long ago?
Oh, probably about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, you want to get those on CD. So what'd you do? You took advantage of their service. You probably took a ton of photos down there. And then
not too many, because Walgreens, they don't exactly clean their equipment like they should, other than like if you go to actual professional photo place, that's all they do. They actually maintain their equipment. Unlike Walgreens, they don't know how.
Well, but what I'm getting at though is did you take photos down there and then they made them into digital for you and then put them on a disc? Is that that type of service? Is that what you were?
Yeah, we had some dupes made and kind of resized them so we wouldn't have to cut so much of the photo paper off. And then I also had a CD burned.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that, even if you buy a scanner, it can take forever to scan those photos in, and sometimes it's worth it. Take a shoebox worth of photos, hand it to a place like you said, like Walgreens, even if it's not going to be the greatest quality. It's better to have a lower quality than, and have it in digital where you can use it than it is to just continuously have those photos in the same shoebox in mom's closet, let's say, and nobody else gets to see them.
But I can't do that with my dad's slide collection, though, because I've had several people inquire due to the subject format, when are you going to write a book?
Yeah.
Just think of, say, if you shot pictures of your old neighborhood in LA and stuff, and you look back and say you go back there like now and say it's all wiped out, there's nothing left. And it's like, well, you could say, oh, okay, over in this corner, there's this store over here. My boyhood home was 6 blocks over. And this is what I can do with Dad's stuff, but only it's areas in Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, even out west in Colorado and Wyoming.
I have some old photos from when I was like in high school, getting ready to go on the service, and then when I had come home from the service to LA, I have some photos from back then when gas was still like under 90 cents a gallon in LA.
Yep.
And those are
those are the days.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see that anymore over there, man. 87 cents, 91 cents. I
remember when I was
ago in LA.
I remember when I was a teenager, before I even got my driver's license, Dad would pull up to the pump. He's like, "Go fill it up." I was like, "Okay." Anyway, Dad drove a half-ton GMC Suburban, 350 engine V8. automatic transmission, 2-wheel drive, nothing fancy, but it was the Sierra Classic, and Dad bought this 1978 demonstrator. Only had 15,000 miles on it, barely broke in. And this was when gas was like 80 cents a gallon. It's like $20.
Yep.
And I remember when I started driving, my second vehicle was a Ford F-150 with dual tanks. And I dropped in 32 gallons into that thing, and that thing only cost me $35-40. Nowadays, that much gas is going to cost you over $100.
Now, just real quick, we have Rod J in there. I want to say hi to him.
Hey, Rod.
And Rod J's from the Kentucky side of things, right there. Yeah, right there on the Kentucky Ohio line. Mr. I get beer for next to nothing prices over there. We love to hate on Rod J. A Sunday surprise, man. There's a link in there if you want to jump in. You're more than welcome, of course. Mr. Angus said that Creole is that language they speak.
Thank you, Mr. Angus.
And then he also says, my town, a lot of Italians, the city built them some nice what'd you call them, bocce courts?
Yeah, bocce ball.
Yeah, so
it's spelled BOCCE.
Okay, yeah, he has an I, so I imagine that's just a
preferred probably way to spell it.
Yeah, a tomato sort of thing.
Yep.
Probably. But yeah, so he's right on the Kentucky border, he says. So we've got people in here. I'm telling you, when I tell you this is an international show, I ain't kidding, man. We've got people right now on the fly in here from all parts of the globe. We've got of course, Canada, which ain't too far of a stretch, but
no, Minnesota is a suburb of Canada.
Yeah, that is, and it is its own country, and then we do have a Texan in here, which is definitely its own country. Hello, right? Yeah, I don't know. Only Texas claims Texas, right? We don't really claim Texas too much, right? So, but anyway, we've got the UK in here. We've got Ireland here. At any point, we could have Zach jump in here from Australia, and that's what kind of sparked this whole thing. Is on Mark's show. Mark has his photography show, which I try to jump in whenever I can. But when there's a Rams game, I typically can't jump in because the Rams are playing. Hello, boom, same time as Mark's show.
Rod J, what's going on, my man?
What's up? On my deals that I get.
Oh, you're freezing up a little bit, bro. What'd you say?
Okay. Oh, I felt like I must defend my honor on the deals I get there.
He's got to defend his honor for all you.
Yeah, no, he does, man. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? This guy gets beer for cheaper than you can make it.
We say, don't hate the player, hate the game, son.
Exactly right, yeah. And I'm hating the game bad. Yeah, I'm hating the game bad. I hate the game. The game sucks. I want a different game. We need to start another game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Get some different players.
Yeah, we need new players and a new game, damn it. Yeah.
New players, new game, new coach, new line.
So how you doing today, Rod?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
I couldn't be in any more higher spirits. The Rams absolutely crushed their division rivals today, humiliated them on their home field. So, of course, I am feeling great. The two teams I hate the most are Seattle and the Saints. I cannot stand the Saints. The Saints, if you remember, back in the day, were the Rams' division rivals for years. And,
yeah.
And so, yeah, I still to this day can't stand the Saints. The Aints, right? And then I of course, now Seattle's our new division rival. So, yeah, I love to hate on them. And the Rams, we haven't had this kind of success in quite some time. So, of course, I'm, embellishing. I'm just loving it. You know what I'm saying?
What you can do when you get rid of Jeff Fisher.
Okay, it has to be said. Fisher had who's the quarterback now for Minnesota?
That
What's
took over
Teddy
from
Bridgewater, and
No,
they
no.
got
Well,
someone
Bridgewater
else.
came in, but oh my God, how did I forget his name? I forget. I don't know how I forget his name. But in any case, Fisher had both those quarterbacks literally just last year. Both of them. He
Right.
had Goff and he had the other guy from Minnesota that actually has got him most of the success from Minnesota. And they're both starting now on the other. How did I forget his name? The other guy is on Minnesota, right? And he's starting there and having tons of success. Of course, Goff is having tons of success with the Rams. And you're just like, what kind of piss poor coach was Fisher? I mean, it just kind of shows pretty much, our new coach, he was the youngest coach in the NFL, comes in, boom, has tons and tons of success, basically with the same damn players. What's up?
Well, sometimes those little things make a change.
I mean, it just it makes a whole world of difference. I'm telling you.
I think I'm going to jump back. I think I'm getting some of a breakup here. I don't know if I'm breaking up on your guys' screen or not.
Now, you were breaking up a little bit, but you're coming in pretty good here now.
You're coming in here good, just fine.
Of course, we've got Sparky. Sparky saying, "Hey, wait! I thought I liked you." I was talking all that trash about Texas. Hey, look, I love to talk trash about Texas because my youngest daughter lives in Texas. My grandson that I just showed you lives in Texas. Of course, with my daughter, he's my daughter's son. And my daughter's oldest son, she's about to have another kid here, and any time she's due at Christmas time. On the 27th is her due date, so any time now, man, it could happen. And Keenum, thank you. How did I forget that guy's name? That was driving me nuts. Case Keenum. That was driving me insane. I'm like, how did I forget his name? And then you got the guy from the Eagles. I mean, he was our quarterback for a minute. He came to the Rams.
That was Foles when he was out there.
Yeah, he came for a minute, and then we gave him back.
Refund the second.
Yeah, we recycled that thing. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh no.
Regifted.
Yeah, regifted. We packaged them up and sent them back. Yeah, exactly. We put new wrapping on them and everything, a new bow. You know what I'm saying? And sent him on his way. But Keenum. I mean, Fisher had Keenum. I mean, just last year had Keenum, and he had Goff, and both of them. Look at that; they're like lights out, man, crushing it. I mean, especially with the Rams. I mean, literally, you've got the same team. A couple key pieces on the offensive line, and a few pieces here and there changed, which needed to happen. But still, man, to have a team change, flip-flop that much with just coaching is insane. Yeah. From one year to the next, So I don't know. I think you heard some of our conversation about, discussion for the New Year's show. Are you going to watch the New Year's show? Or are you going to try to jump in on anyone?
Well, I just got on, so I didn't hear anything about it. But I know you said you were doing a show this upcoming Friday.
I'll try.
I'm actually off that day, so I may join that one.
Oh yeah, now we will have a Friday show. I gotta tell you now, Rod, Andrew, I cannot be held responsible for this. Could be a Rod J show, actually. It could be actually Rod J is the king. Actually, you know what?
Me. You had a longer one than I've had.
Rod J's responsible for it. I'm gonna blame it on Kentucky because we have not had a show that long until Rod jumped in this show. He jumped in this show and influenced us. And next thing you know, we're having these 5-hour, 6-hour shows.
No, wait a minute, Joe. Rod J was not on it, but we had that one 5 or 6 hour show, 2-3 months ago now?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. None of that
Rod
happened.
J was not involved in that one.
No, he wasn't in. No. Because he, it wasn't until he started joining into the show that all of a sudden we realized that maybe we could go a little longer.
Oh, you mean just on the weekend shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Not our regularly scheduled hour shows.
Yeah. I got see, Andrew.
Tuesday and
This
Friday.
is the part. This is the part where we blame somebody.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think Drunken One still holds the record, though.
Oh, does he really? How long?
I
Does
think
he
he
go?
went 8 hours or something on one. I think he went for like 9 hours or something on one of his shows.
So did he just go to bed and then like wake up and come back, or what happened?
He was drinking screwdrivers, and he had definitely 90% vodka, 10% orange juice. So I know he can comment on if he's still watching there because he was rocking it that night.
Oh man,
Oh my God.
90% vodka and 10% OJ.
Very little orange juice, like a splash.
Wow.
Oh, he should comment on here.
Yeah.
2 8-hour shows. He just said 2 8-hour shows.
Oh my God. Well, I
So
said we'd never do another 5-hour show, and we didn't. We did a 6-hour show. So
But
there you go.
You mentioned about deals. Have you guys seen the Belgian White Monkey yet from Victory?
No.
I haven't had a chance to get back over to Total Wine as of late.
Well, you know they got
Right.
the Golden Monkey, right? They did a Sour Monkey. They got a new one now called the White Monkey, which is a Belgian triple. So I just picked that up the other day, but I haven't drank it yet. But it was funny because Joe mentioned deals. So I went to my place to get it, and they had it back on the rack saying $8.99, 22-ounce bottles. I got up to the register, and it came up like $16.99, and I was like, "No, that says $8.99 back there." And the guy came up, "Yeah, that's $8.99." I was like,
Oh
"Shit, I
my
should get
God.
more."
The prices you're getting beer for, it'd be worth my while to rent a van and drive down there and bring it back, and I think I could still budget it out and save money.
Well,
Joe, I see an actual Smokey and the Bandit run here.
There you go.
between what I see for the cost of cigarettes and alcohol around the country, I could definitely be in the bootlegging business. I could be the next Kennedy. I could be sitting on the next Kennedy empire running some booze.
Hey, Rod, you think it's bad with the U.S. having to deal with drugs coming across the Mexican border down in Texas and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing. They actually got Canadians that build secret compartments and minivans and stuff in the floor, and they drive down here into the U.S. They buy up all the cigarettes they can and hide them in their cars and drive back up across the border because they got the taxes so high for cigarettes in Canada.
Yeah, oh, wow, yeah.
Because of their health care.
Well, I think it's crazy in New York, too, now.
Yep, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Oh, we put the victory line up there.
Yeah, so we've got the whole. Now I seen their. Now this is their main. This is the main White Monkey.
Yeah.
And this is their white wine barrel aged Belgian triple.
Yeah. That's it.
And 9.5%. Served at 52 degrees Fahrenheit. I love when they do that. That just kind of helps people that are kind of new to it. You asked, we answered. White Monkey is back. 3 months spent in white wine barrels imparts distinct notes of vanilla and woody. What is that? Tannis?
Tannis.
Yeah, from the wood, from the barrels.
With the fruit and spice character of the Belgian style triple.
Doesn't that sound tasty?
So you just bought it. You haven't sampled it yet.
I haven't done it yet. No, it's in the basement with. I just did a update on my cellar. I got like 100-something beers in there now. So right now it's sitting.
Now we've got. Let me see here. So Now Sparky says I was so toasted. He did that the 8 hour shows. He said he was so toasted.
Oh, he was lit. He was definitely lit when I saw.
I was so tossed, he said.
Oh,
Earth-
tossed. I'm sorry. Yeah, tossed. Yeah.
He was 3 sheets to
Earth
one.
is in. He says, I'm drinking perennial sump right now.
Perennial Sump's a good one. Absolutely. And then Mr. Angus, in February, I will be 3 years smoke free.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, man. What kind of smoke? Like, you gotta be a little specific because we have the herb prophet that shows up here.
We also have the Neary smoke.
Yeah, so you have to be.
We don't want to go talking about the Neary smoke.
Yeah, there's a lot of different. Okay, I'm assuming smoking cigarettes and stuff. I that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, because he said he used e-cig to quit. The next thing he said.
Oh, he used the e-cig, so to quit. So that's good, man. Yeah, it's a. You know what? That habit costs you so much money because I can't. I mean, there's cats here that smoke, and I don't know what a carton of cigarettes costs. I think it's what, $25 or $30? What is a carton of cigarettes cost?
That's what I'm saying. If you were running, that's why people are selling individual cigarettes. Cartons are like up there now.
Yeah, I mean, an individual pack will cost you anywhere, depending on where you. I think in California, I think they're $9.
Your money ahead to learn how to roll your own because you can literally buy a can.
Okay. This is something that needs some discussion.
12 in New York or 13
I
or something.
I don't get this, okay, because we have, okay, I don't get this. This is pretty much a craft beer. We any beer, really. I mean, we talk beer here all the time, but we have brewers that are supporters of this show, home brewers, and also regular people that own breweries that jump on here, big or small. You know, and people drink beer. They like beer. Beer's getting expensive, so they make their own beer. We got people that live in areas where they just can't get beer. They live north flipping Dakota, for Christ's sake, and so they make their own beer. They just can't get to it, so they make their own. Cigarettes? Are you kidding me? Everybody in all 50 states can grow tobacco. I don't get why. Like, if I was a smoker, it seems to me that I would just grow my own tobacco. You have, what, a 3 or 4 month window to grow it. It seems like in that period, I know you can grow enough tobacco to support your own habit for the rest of the year. Like, it seems like
there's a little group called ATF that what you doing?
Yeah, you have to deal with that alphabet.
That's what that T is for.
Yeah, the T in ATF is
the T in ATF.
But they're only there to stop you.
Mr. Joe, why are you growing your own tobacco here?
No, it's perfectly legal to grow for your own consumption, though. And that's what I'm getting at is, like, I don't know why people don't. I mean,
if you make your own beer, you're limited to 100 gallons per adult in the household. If you have a husband and wife first, you can do 200 gallons. So there's limits on it, I bet, for tobacco as well.
I wonder. Because I know you just can't sell it.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, because I had actually thought about, when I was still in Albuquerque, I had thought about growing it just to sell. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that's when I didn't know all the stuff that I kind of know today, which ain't much. But I didn't realize that tobacco was related to the tomato. Like, I didn't realize that tobacco plant is related to the tomato plant. I had no idea. So anywhere that you can grow tomatoes, which is all 50 states, you can grow some variant of tobacco. There's a lot of different tobaccos. So that's when I had figured that out, because in Albuquerque, it gets pretty cold, and so you had like a 3 or 4 month window that you could grow enough tobacco, and then there's tons of video on YouTube on how to dry it, and now you can sell seeds, and that's where people will make their money. They'll grow tobacco. There's a whole, like, I don't know, let's call it craft tobacco scene, if you will. And there's plenty of people that sell the seeds since they can't sell the tobacco to make their money. It's pretty interesting.
Be a good niche for it to sell to cigar makers.
It just seems, well, yeah, cigars too, but I mean, dude, at, I don't know, $9, $8, $9, $10 a pack, like, it seems like you would at some point go, you know what, son, I need to get a green thumb. You know what I'm saying? Because like until the ATF does knock on my door, I need to do something. You know what I'm saying? That's just pure economics, man. If I had a habit where I could just be like, you know what, like if beer starts costing me, let's say this one beer starts costing me $8, $9, $10 a beer, which we ain't too damn far from that either. Some of these beers are getting way up there, except for Kentucky. Hello.
elbow. Over to you, Joe. Or Rod.
I'm gonna get deals on everything.
No, he don't. But he gets enough deals where it sure does soften the blow. Okay, for the beers that you do get deals on, it can lower the price of some of those other higher priced beers considerably.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the average cost, like I picked up a bomber of one of the Belgian ales I really like. It's the Golden Corollas. It's out of Belgium. They're Noel or Christmas. I picked up a bomber of that, and it was $2.99, I think, or $3.99. But initially, when I first got it, I got a case for $12.99, and it is like a stellar beer. And Dan, who does a channel called Booze Reviews out of Canada, he was actually just did one of his advent counters on that beer. And I'm like, that is such a good beer that, you know, if you like Belgian ales, it's almost like an automatic gift to try to find that one.
Yeah, see, Sparky says 100 gallons a year?
Yeah, per
really
adult.
not that much.
But if you have, like I said, if you have a spouse or another adult in the house, you can do 200 gallons, all thanks to Jimmy Carter. That's one of the good things nobody seems to disagree with him about. So everybody seems to like Jimmy Carter on being able to brew beer.
Hey, Joe, I'm not an admin, but we got a troll in the chat over here.
Yeah. Let me see. And let's see. Wonder how many individuals have put fire to the hop before that. Yeah, because you had Sparky also saying hops are in the same family as Mary J, which we all know that's pretty common.
A little cousin.
Yeah, a little cousin. Yeah. Now you don't really realize tobacco is in the same relation to tomatoes until you start seeing the seeds. The seeds are for the tomato plant are seriously tiny. They're real little tiny little seeds, and so is tobacco. Tobacco, these real tiny little seeds, and they grow leaves. Tobacco leaves, if you've ever seen them, are like these huge leaves. Anyway, yeah, just kind of whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I pulled up about growing tobacco, and it said that the agriculture department doesn't really have anything that says where you can't grow. There's no limitations, but they're not going to tell you to go ahead and grow tobacco either. Yeah, but it seems like there is a loophole there if you want to grow your own tobacco, and there's a lot of people that teach you that.
Yeah, it don't take much Googling. I promise you, because it's been a few. Like I said, I was still in Albuquerque.
Google and YouTube.
Yeah, last time I looked into it, I was still, like I said, I was still in Albuquerque. But it wasn't.
How do you do it? Yeah.
It just seems like it could, because it wasn't hard. Now, granted, depending on where you're at, the style of tobacco that you grow is going to vary. Yeah. But there's enough variants of tobacco where every state in the union can grow tobacco. So it just seemed like, are you kidding me? If I was a smoker, I would be like all over it, you know? Yeah. You like throw some stupid potted soil in the ground and you grow it, and then you throw it in the garage and dry it, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't going to be the best, but it's something to smoke.
Well, maybe it depends on what type of smoker you are. I mean, if you're actually a smoker that smokes, I think there's a brand called Basic for like the basic type smoker.
Right. They say basic, huh?
They say basic colors on it. Yeah. It's like people that drink Bud. Well, it's not really worth you maybe home brewing because you get that there. But if you're a craft beer drinker, then yeah, you can save some money if you're making some craft beers you're brewing.
Yeah, now Sparky says 100 gallons a year equals 1.92 gallons a week.
That's how much he's throwing down.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. That ain't much.
No, it's not really. Think about it, because You're having a beer or two a night. You're what, 32 ounces, 24 to 32, depending on how big your beer are. True pint, 16 ounces.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't normally. I pretty much can only drink on the weekends, right? But that's still even on the weekends. That's not that much.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, I'm in a growler 64.
Right. Yes. And that's it. Right. Like pretty much you're there. Right. You drink a growler and that's it, son.
You drink a 64. You drink a couple growlers. You're at 128 ounces, so that's your gallon.
Here's this. My water mug is a growler.
Yeah. Yeah. So 1.92. So that's 2 gallons a week. So you drink 2 gallons of beer a week, and you're I don't know. It's not much, but if you're not a super heavy,
Carrie's in the chat.
Who? Oh,
Carrie.
We got Carrie. What's up? How you doing, Carrie? Now, where does Carrie come from? Is Carrie from? She's from up north, isn't she?
Carrie, where are you out of? You out of New York, I think, someplace.
Is she out of New York?
No, she's asking if today's Sunday or Tuesday.
Yeah, today's Sunday. Yeah. What we're doing, Carrie, is trying.
Oh, she's just south of me. She's down in Iowa.
Oh, Iowa. Yeah. I thought she was north. Yeah, I thought she was north. Yeah. God, it's been a while since we asked her that, but okay. So he says it's at 35. What, 350 or no, 35 ounces a day.
35 ounces, yeah. So if you were drinking a 40 a day, yeah, you'd definitely be over.
Yeah, if you're drinking now some do, right? Now Bum covers the malt liquor report.
Yeah.
And if those guys are drinking a 40 a day, that's it, son.
Yeah.
You know?
One game of Edward 40 hands, you're over for sure.
Yeah, that's it. So, but in any case, so what we were thinking, and we discussed this earlier, I guess, before you jumped in, Rod.
Mm-hmm.
The New Year's show. What happened is, I was in Mark's show earlier. Mark has a photography show every Sunday, or most every Sunday, and so he brought up the point, telling his audience, hey, Joe's going to have a New Year's show. If you want to jump in on his show, and then he brought up, well, are you gonna cover GMT? The Greenwich time. So I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, are you going to cover Australian time? And I was like, oh my God, okay. I guess I could, not really. But then I didn't realize there's 4 different Australian time zones, and a lot of those time zones are funky. Some are only 30 minutes apart. Some are like a little over an hour apart. They're like these funky time differences. So I was like, well, Australia's kind of out. I ain't trying to kill myself.
Just be glad we don't have anybody in Russia. Russia's got like 15 time zones.
Do they really?
we have had people from Russia, but not actual Russia, the different countries that made up Russia before it split.
Yep.
So we have had people from Croatia.
From I remember that.
All I know is like Craig and them in the UK are 5 hours ahead of me. So
yeah, so I'm pretty much just going to do DMT. We're going to do the Greenwich time, and hopefully that'll cover most of the people across the pond. And then we could just move on to American time, and I'll do the 4 American time zones. But what we were trying to get at was, and of course, it's mostly with Americans in mind. But I thought, well, Tom had a good suggestion I was trying to think of a beer that we could all sample on New Year's and kind of have a similar experience, right? And then Tom had a suggestion of Guinness. Hey, why not Guinness? And so I'm like, well, yeah, why not Guinness Extra Stout? If it's got to be Guinness Extra Stout.
Just the Extra Stout, okay. That's something. I kind of get spoiled with Guinness now. When I get the 4 Extra Stout, everything else is kind of pale in comparison.
Yeah. But see, not everybody can get the 4 Extra.
A lot of us can't anymore because it's not usually sold in America.
Yeah.
Unless you give them the variety packs, yeah.
Right. so it's one of those deals, you know what I'm saying? So um,
I'd be
that
down.
that's one of those things. So and I didn't realize, and I looked it up, of course, on my calendar, but that's actually not next Sunday, Christmas Eve, but the following Sunday. So 2 Sundays from now is will be the start of those shows, right? You know, so that'll be now 5 shows, but at least the Greenwich time will give me enough hours before I have to start the Eastern time zone for American Eastern time zone. So to give me enough of a break in there where I won't be too smashed by the time I get to the Western time zone.
You're thinking a New Year's Eve show then?
Yeah. That's why this is a discussion for a New Year's Eve show. So
it sucks for me because I gotta work. I gotta go into work on New Year's Day. So I'll be able to have some on New Year's Eve, but not too much.
yeah, you can't get too happy with it. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, but this Friday show will definitely be on for the 22nd, and so of course on the 19th, on the Tuesday show, we'll have a discussion about it some more, and then the 22nd for sure we'll have a long discussion about it, because who knows how long that show's going to go. I don't even dare put a limit on how long that show will go.
Are you doing a year-end show on best beers or anything? Are you guys doing anything for that?
I thought about doing that as well. I'll probably just cover, for me personally, just whatever's on Untapped, whatever beers I've logged on Untapped.
Yeah.
Probably just talk about that sort of thing. So that'll probably be maybe that Friday show before New Year's. I think that's a good time. So the 29th, that'd probably be a good time to talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'll also be off for that show. So Lord knows how long that'll be.
Broken.
Who knows, man? We might be knocking on Sparky's door over there, man. I don't know. Man. You know
Sparky, care to join us?
Yeah. I don't know, man. So, yeah. So, I just kind of snapped on. So the 22nd. I'll be off work, and so Lord knows how long that show will go. The 29th, I'll be off work, so Lord knows how long that show will go. And of course, I'm off January 1st, so Lord knows how long that New Year's Eve show will go. I don't know.
Oh, this is good. Sparky says you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's the motto. That's the motto, right? You know, you can't drink all day if you don't start early. So that's the whole thing. Yeah, it's at the same time, though, the earlier you start, sometimes the earlier you finish. So,
it's all about pace.
It's all about pace sometimes, man. You gotta pace yourself,
well,
you know?
Well, look at it this way, Joe. Years ago, you had the returnable cases, 24 bottles in a case, correct?
Yep.
24 hours in a day. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, one brew a day. Yeah, one brew an hour, and you're there. Let me see. So he's
Craig's asking what time Friday.
Well, the Friday show starts at 12 noon Eastern. So
let's see. Let's hope Lance shows up. We can see his chair dance again.
Yeah,
left, right, left. The left, right, left show.
Yeah, the poor guy. He we didn't realize he had a disorder, so he just kind of, what do you call that when people just kind of pass out?
Narcolepsy.
Yeah, narcolepsy. Yeah.
And I didn't realize he had narcolepsy until he literally just passed out online, on us, and who brought it to someone brought it to my attention. But in any case, it got brought to my attention, and of course, he got talk smack. We're like, oh, look at this dude, man. He was just literally sitting up, and he's out like this.
And you see him leaning to the right, and then he sits right up, leans to the left a little bit, and sits right up again, back over to the left, and then after a while, his camera freezes.
Yeah, poor guy. And then his camera finally froze, and that kind of let him off the hook. So we don't know that he ever
Fell
truly
out of the
did-
chair.
Yeah, he could have fell out of the chair. We were waiting for that big spectacular moment, and I think Google robbed us of that actually.
Yeah.
So
Well, usually he's having some natty daddies too. That doesn't help.
yeah,
So.
right. Yeah, he was having some decent brews and so, but in any case, yeah,
He had at least, I think, 3 of them before he went nighty night.
yeah, poor guy. So, but you know, he took it like a champ, and he's been on, you know, many times since then. But yeah, that's kind of
it had nothing to do with the natty daddies.
yeah.
Earthman, hey, I was envious.
Yeah. And then you know,
Natty
Sparky
Daddy
said-
is strong. Wow.
on my challenge to Sparky, he said, "Yeah, bring it." You know,
Bring it.
so yeah, Lord knows, I don't know. I'm not, you know, it just kind of the show flows the way it flows, man. You know, sometimes I try to cut them off, but in any case, it does. So we'll keep talking about it. We've got a couple more shows to talk about it, leading up to the New Year's show. So it.
It's a lots of laughs. Wait.
Yeah. So we've got at least what 1, 2, 3. We got 4 more shows leading up to the New Year's. So, we got plenty of time to still narrow it down. But I thought we'd at least have one specific show leading up to, you know, talking about it, and at least getting people with the idea that, throwing hands in the air.
Now hold on.
Drunkalepsy. Nice.
Mr. Angus is nice.
Do you think Bud Ice is strong? Are you kidding me? Bud Ice?
Stronger than Bud.
Yeah, it is stronger than Bud, isn't it? Yeah.
When I was working for
Like
beer
5
distributor, when I was working for a beer distributor back in my younger days, brought home this case of Ice House from Miller. I mean, at the time it was, I was like in my early 20s, like I didn't know any different, and it wasn't too bad at the time. But now that I think back on it and what it tasted like, I'll never buy that stuff.
We all learn from experience.
I can remember when Bud Ice first came out. Don't you remember that? It was like all the, you know, it was just, you know, when all those
I remember
ice
back in
beers
the
started
90s.
hitting.
Yeah, it was like early 90s. They were all coming out. You had Zima Ice and Bud Ice, and then I think Miller had an ice or two.
So here's Milwaukee's best ice at 5.9. Keystone Ice at 5.9. Big Flats light beer. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know either.
At 3.9, and then Bud Ice at 5.5.
Yeah.
And this is the name of this one's alcohol content of beer. Get drunk, not fat.
Well.
Good luck with that.
But don't expect taste in any of those either.
Exactly. That's kind of my point.
They have no taste to them. Like drinking water.
Yeah. In fact, just give me water.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Angus said, I just had a 7.1 Sinister Minister Yummy IPA. That's right. Okay.
Hey, Carrie asked, what is the strongest beer? Well, it depends, but...
Oh, Earthman says, let's do 3 8-hour shows back to back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, my God. Well, the New Year's shows are short shows. I literally probably get on for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Well, this is what last year was the first time I did this. So, this year, actually. This year, the beginning of this year was the first time I'd actually done this. So, and it seems like everyone's pretty psyched up to do it again. So what I did last year, seriously small sample size, was 15, 20 minutes. And I actually didn't even realize, I think the Eastern time zone, until I deleted the Western one, I think was actually the longest one. because I didn't realize I was going to do that until I did it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that I intended to do. And I did the Eastern time zone at spur of the moment. And then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll do Central too. And of course, I knew I was going to do Mountain.
Right.
And then the next thing you know, I was like, well, I did all three of those. And everyone was like, are you going to do Extra? And I'm like, yeah, might as well. And then, are you going to do Hawaii?
Pacific time. Yep.
I was already taking a nap, by the time I hit Hawaii. So I think I barely made it through the Western. So, of course, I think this time, going into it knowing that I'll be doing all these time zones, I'm going to be much better paced, because that was all spur of the moment. But
Earthman says, let's set the bar, breaking records.
yeah. So, in other words, what Earth wants is just to start it at GMT and just keep it going.
Keep it on going.
Yeah.
Well,
all of us better have beers nearby.
Yeah.
I think up in Canada, GSHL-TV, he does some long ones too.
Yeah, the one that I know that does most time zones in the world is Leo Laporte, the tech guy. He's the one that I know that tries to do most of the world time zones. I don't know if he still does, but he used to, at least, which I think is insane, because he basically stays up over 24 hours in order to get that done. Because I think there's I don't know, matter of fact, I can Google it, huh? How many time zones
in the world?
Yeah.
Well, your New Year's, can you just say Happy New Year in each time zone you're doing a show or something, or
24 time zones? That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought there was over 20. So there's 24 time zones. There's more than 24 time zones. If each time zone were 1 hour apart, there would be 24 in the world. However, the international, that's right, yeah, the International Dateline, the IDL, creates 3 more. Also, several time zones are only 30 or 45 minutes apart, which I found out today is Australia. Oh my God, that's bananas, isn't it? Why even have a time zone difference if it's only 30 or 45 minutes? That seems crazy.
That's got no answer now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I could imagine, I drive into California and they're an hour behind us. I drive into there every night. I could imagine if they were only 30 or 45 minutes difference. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then if you look at their time zones, they're all over the place. Australia. It's like some particular regions of Australia. It's not. Well, this one shows it differently. The one that I was looking at earlier had it really jacked. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah. Now this one, I'll show you. This one I'm sure, and then we're gonna have to close this one out because I got other stuff to do. But when you look at this one, look at the different colors and shades here in Australia, and that's different time zones. Look at this. This is nuts. But when you look at this one shows it kind of more clearer. Boom, boom, boom. But this one actually shows, because there's at least 4 different time zones in Australia, which is nuts. And then we were talking earlier, and they said that Australia actually has more surface area than the United States, which I didn't realize that. If that's true, I didn't realize that.
Doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, if you're just looking at this map, I don't know how much to scale this particular map is, but if you're just looking at this map, you're and you're just literally looking at the 48, continuous states. I think if you start adding Alaska and you start adding, I don't know how much difference Hawaii is going to make, but if you add in Alaska, I don't think that it is. But if you're just looking at the main 48, then of course that's. But yeah, like you were talking about earlier, this would be Russia right here, right? And it's a ton of different time zones here. You've got what, at least probably from right here, I would imagine. Or does Russia go all the way out to here?
Russia goes all the way, literally wraps
Right to
around.
here,
All the way out because remember, Sarah Palin can see it from Alaska, so it goes all the way out.
You
that's
can
true.
see it all the way from the Aleutian Islands in Alaska, because the Aleutian Islands go out about 5,000 miles.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Nah.
And I don't know if you've ever watched the TV show Deadliest Catch on History or Discovery
That's
Channel.
true. That's true.
But
yeah.
There have been some crab boats out of Dutch Harbor. They've gone out that far where all they hear is Russian radio traffic. And there's no U.S. Coast Guard nearby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because see, can you see the times that are showing here? See, it's 3:19 over there, and it's 7:19 here, and it's 3:19 tomorrow p.m.
Nuku'alofa? What's the name of that thing?
Yeah, look at that. Alafi.
Yeah.
It looks like Alafi is the furthest most, maybe. Yeah. Alafi looks like it's the farthest time zone.
It's abbreviated nut.
Boy, that one's got legs for sure. Oh my God. I won't even go into all that.
Abbreviated nut. Right? Is that the right nut or the left nut?
Okay, look at how nuts. Yeah, look at it. This is nuts. Look at it. Because it's just now. Look at how crazy this is. See this little dot right here? It's 3:20 p.m. Sunday, but you go to this dot right here.
I need
It's 3:20 p.m. Monday.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Look at that. So can you imagine going from this little dot to this little dot, and you literally lose 24 hours? You could probably jump on a rowboat and row to here, and you're like, it's literally 24 hours later.
What the hell?
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's wild, right? That is nuts. That's why it's called nuts right there. Because that's crazy. Look how close those dots are together. I gotta zoom in on this. This is crazy. We gotta zoom in on this because you gotta see this, man. This is nuts. So you got this one right here, and then you go to this dot right here. It's literally Monday, 3:21 p.m. And right here, it's Sunday, 3:21 p.m. And you lose 24 hours just going that far.
Going back in time.
24 hours. Exactly. I mean, to the minute. Look at that. That's wild.
Yeah.
So that's Tokolo. I think I've heard of that. Yeah, that's New Zealand. And so it's 3:22 Monday over there, right? That's crazy. This is blowing my mind. Maybe it shouldn't blow my mind that much, but it is. And then you click on this one, and it's 3:22 p.m. Sunday. And it's literally how much for? That's crazy. And they're still using the NZ dollar, the New Zealand dollar, right? That's crazy. So if you ever see an area code 683, right, that's their country code, then that's where they're calling from, that little place right there.
So could that literally be the land that time forgot?
Man.
Land that time forgot.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Happy hour, we're not here. We're just starting.
So they're 4 hours behind Phoenix. I didn't even snap that. I didn't realize that it was telling me that. Okay, so if I go here, which is on Monday, they're telling me how much farther, but 20 hours ahead of Phoenix. They got better weather too. Look at that, 78 degrees. Wait a minute, how does that work? Their high is 78 and their low is 80. How does that work?
They got to flip flop. Their high is going to be 86 and their low is going to be 78.
Yeah, they might be doing low high over there. I don't know. So
But also,
we usually do high low here, but in some places might do low high possibly.
That is like Phoenix weather then, because because they're summertime over there, right? They're kind of below the equator.
Yeah, when the northern hemisphere, like Minnesota, in Arizona, when the Earth is tipped one way on the axis, it's our summertime, and then when it's tipped, when it's our summertime, it's their winter, and when it's tipped the other way, the poles switch, and so does the weather accordingly.
Hey, look at that though! No daylight savings time.
In 2017, like what about the other years?
Yeah, you're right.
Agreed there.
So they're almost exactly like Phoenix. This is hilarious because now in our summertime, see how the temperature difference ain't that much from their low to their high? And that's the way it is here in Phoenix. Like our low to our high in summertime isn't much difference, maybe 10 degrees. It's crazy. But look at this. Tuesday, they're forecasting rain. They're literally forecasting rain here Tuesday. It just rained today. And it never rains here. It's crazy. This is interesting, man. Anyway, whatever. This is so their moon. This is crazy. I can get all into this. Whatever. I'm gonna let this go. Because if I don't drop it, I'll go all into. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow, let's check this out. A bunch of useless information.
Angus says something, right? So yeah, 4 30-minute time zones is less as compared to America's 3 1-hour time zones.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 30-minute. Yeah.
You can party twice for every holiday. Earth says that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what's cool about these type of shows, right, Rod? Like, the shows we put on, you're just some dude sitting in your stupid office or your living room or wherever you're at, and you're posting worldwide, and you bring in people from their environment live right now, real time, and you just find out so much about the world, like different things like this, about simple, stupid things. Like if you were to visit somewhere, you might talk about the time difference, but it wouldn't be a super long discussion. It'd be like, oh, I had to sleep half a day to kind of catch up to their time. And then that would be end of your discussion. Yeah. Right? But when you're talking to someone live in their time zone, it kind of leads to a more in-depth discussion. You're like, well, what is this like? Like, what's your weather like? Like, what's your, like their high and low. It's interesting because their high is 80 degrees and their low is 84. You're like, how does that work? It gets hotter at night? Like, that's crazy.
And the other kicker is you got some countries that use Celsius versus Fahrenheit too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but they're showing the temperature, in Fahrenheit because they know I'm in Phoenix. But I wonder if it works like that. Like if it works like that south of the equator. Because it's south of the equator. Like I wonder if their nights are hotter than their days in the summertime.
For some reason, Joe, I'm getting some feedback from you.
Yeah, I know. All of a sudden, yeah, I'm hearing that. But
Google.
Yeah, who knows? Google. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Those little details like that, I could do a whole nother hour on that stuff. It gets crazy here. Yeah, like see, Mr. Angus is saying it's 27 over there, Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
He's in Canada. I'm like, yeah, see, that's bananas. It's 56 here, which is absolutely Arctic temperatures here in Phoenix.
What are we right now? Right now we're 40. Actually, it's kind of weird because we're 43 degrees right now. And usually in most years, we're like in the 20s by now. We're almost the teens because of December.
We're in the low 20s here right now in Minnesota. Oh, by the way,
sometimes you guys are like negative in the past.
Yeah. That's also wind chill factor as well.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you're not from Minnesota if you ever hear the term Alberta Clippers mentioned, and you think it's a barbershop quartet. It is not.
Oh, yeah.
Alberta Clipper just happens to describe the weather system that's coming in from the province of Alberta in Canada, coming our direction. Basically means snow.
We're supposed to be right now like 55 degrees on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
That is freaking weird. Like you said, I try to hate on global warming, but it has some benefits to it.
Right. Yeah.
Literally last week, one day I went out like pretty much just in a sweatsuit. Next day I had to bundle up. I was like, what the hell is going on around here?
Oh, what's going on? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When it's a little warmer than normal, you're like, I ain't hating, man. Like, what's the problem here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I don't need it to be freezing ass cold. I'm kind of good with this stuff.
Trump, he was 54 and Kerry said 38.
Yeah, see 38. Yeah, see that.
Iowa, that's usually colder there this time of year.
Yeah, see it's 56 here in Phoenix, like I said, and it's because it rained this morning, so it's been kind of overcast and all that sort of thing, and I mean I'm not kidding. That's like people will be like you'll see them in like full furred parkas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The costumes here are crazy because they'll be wearing shorts, full parka, flip flops.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in shorts and like the heaviest coat you could ever see known to man.
Yeah.
It's hilarious here. It is comical.
My sister and her kids, they went to Puerto Rico one year. It was like middle of December or something, and they went over there and they're walking around shorts, t-shirts, flip flops. The locals are dressed like what you said, Joe. They're dressed in jeans, tennis shoes, and the heaviest parka that they have, and they're looking at my sister and her kids like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And it's like 75 degrees out, and they're dressed up like they're Nanook of the North.
Yeah, I used to travel to Florida all the time, and I go down there like in the fall, and I'd have shorts on and stuff like that at the hotel, walking around. It'd be like 50-something degrees outside. People are just like looking like they're all like, "Aren't you cold?" I'm like, this is nothing. I'm gonna go throw in a tank top, come over and play some basketball.
That's what TN Kenny says. He's from Iowa as well. So we got two people from Iowa. We've had someone else in here from Iowa, I remember, and they talked about some of the different craft breweries in Iowa, which was very interesting to me because we have not had much of a discussion on Iowan beers.
I don't know if I've had an Iowa beer before.
That's exactly my point. Yeah, we haven't had, and God, I forget who it was, but someone jumped in here, and we actually ended up having quite the discussion on beers from Iowa that day. I do remember that because, like you said, I know nothing about beers in Iowa. The whole craft beer scene in Iowa.
Yeah, I'm going to do an upload here sometime this week. I did an unboxing video. I was going to upload it now. One of my business partners sent me a Rare Beer Club membership for the next year. As a Christmas gift, I got my first beer from Nebraska. So I've never had Nebraskan beer, but apparently this one is supposed to be a rare beer as well.
What part of Nebraska?
Let me see here. Papillion in La Vista, Nebraska. Nebraska Brewing Company is the Hopnomaly. Hopanomaly, which people are saying is really good. It's a hoppy Belgian style triple aged in French oak Chardonnay barrels. 10.62 ABV.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
I would think like beers from Nebraska, Iowa, that part of the country should be pretty decent because a lot of those crops are coming from that part of the region anyway.
Yeah.
From probably at least some of the big brewers, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of your barley and stuff is probably coming from those sort of areas.
Yeah, that's true too. I actually got two of them with that. The other one was American Solera out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. They sent one, The Ground is Shaken, it's called. Flemish-inspired sour brown ale aged in Vinsanto wine cask. That's a 6% ABV, so that's a little one for me.
Hey, Rod, maybe you can shed some light on this, and I'll try to close this out. we were talking on, I think, on the Friday show and possibly the Tuesday show, but I know the Friday show. It seems like browns are starting to be that one style that's making a little bit of a comeback. You're starting to see some really good browns, some really good imperial browns, like making a slow little surge. Like that might be the latest fad to pop up maybe is brown ales and amber ales.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the brown ales out there. I'm not as huge a brown ale person. I'll drink them here and there, but I think over the last year, I think we've seen a little bit more. It's kind of like a little bit more of a resurgence with them.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget. I mean, it was really Newcastle brown ale that pushed our brown ale market in the U.S. They kind of got pushed to the side with some of the porters and stouts, and we're starting to see more of them pop up, though, especially something like the one I mentioned where they're doing more stuff, kind of getting sours, add a little bit define into it. When you think about some of the brown ales that I've had, it's kind of like, I don't want to say they're bland, but they're kind of like a flavor that's out there, but doesn't really give you a lot with it. But some of these other ones that are now starting to do things like these Imperials are adding more things into it, trying to give it more of a type of feel where it can run against some of the stouts or some of the porters, because it is a darker beer for the most part. You're starting to see some things pop up. I know I was watching Clement's homebrew earlier, and he did one on the brown note out of Louisville against the grain. And I don't know if you ever seen that beer or not, but if you ever pulled it to brown note, just the can itself kind of like turns you off a little bit, but it's kind of like everybody talks about the beer, so he gave that a try. He wasn't as big of a brown ale type person either. Thought it ran a little thin because they are usually a little more down to ABV and a little more thinner in the texture, but some people are starting to like them a little bit more, so they are popping up. I mean, the market's going to dictate what people want to try, and if people start drinking them more, they'll start making them more.
Yeah, of course I love browns.
Yeah,
but that's what's getting my attention, is because the browns have been kind of stagnant. Not a lot of trendy action going there. But it seems like this season more particularly, starting to see more imperial browns and more breweries experimenting with different browns been hitting, and maybe we'll see a little bit of a brown trend. I'm
surprised I'm not seeing more things with like people trying to start doing like a hoppier brown ale to try to give it a little bit more of a hit with some hoppier type feel to it.
Yeah,
it could happen. You never know.
That's what I'm saying. I think it could. As the trend starts to go kind of sweet, and kind of turning away from, seriously bitter hops. So we're getting we're still getting bitter hops, but they're more fruity, more, what I'm saying, a little more of a fruity or that type of note, citrusy sort of note. And then of course ciders have hit big here in America. At least they've always been big across the pond, but they're starting to hit big. We have places that literally just sell ciders. What do you call those places that sell cider?
Cideries.
Cideries, is that what they're called?
Cideries, like wineries that do cider. Yeah.
So you have your cideries and that sort of thing, and so. I'm thinking browns and ambers are a natural fit because they're more malty. They're not as bitter. They can be, like you said, though. You could start adding those fruitier or citrusier hops to some of these beers that already have a malty sweetness and a nice malty mouthfeel and all that, that goodness that's already in a brown or an amber to that. Which could make very interesting beers, which you're already seeing. A lot of them, the Imperials and that sort of thing are starting to pop up more and more.
Well, I just realized I forgot because I was scrolling through my cellar for what I have down there, and I do have one of the Dogfish Head. I don't know if you've had this one or not. It's the Indian Brown Dark IPA. That is a brown ale, but it's done to be a hoppier type brown ale. So that might be one worth checking out if you haven't had it.
I can't say that I've had it. Maybe I have, and I'd have to go back and look. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of swearing on a stack of 500 Bibles. No, I've never had that beer. You know what I'm saying? And I look it up, and there it is. I had the beer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I had the beer, I guess. Yeah. Oh, it was good. Now I do remember it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
It was a little sample. It was just slipped through. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those deals like with movies or something like I never seen that damn movie, and then you flip it on Netflix, you click on it, and you're like, 20 minutes into it, wait a minute, I've seen this damn movie, I have seen this movie, and then all of a sudden it sucks and you lose interest, right? Until that moment, though, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah, it feels a little familiar, but I think that's everything. Oh, I've seen this, damn it! You know what I'm saying?
Joe, I'll be right back. I have something to show you guys.
Yeah.
So it always comes back to you the next thing. Oh yeah, I do remember this. He's gonna jump out of his closet next. Watch
exactly, yeah. And hopefully it didn't come to you right at the end. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? Not like some movies aren't worth rewatching, but hey, real quick, of course, mom's in the chat now. What is everyone watching lately? What did everybody stream this weekend?
Well, I just finished the one with the kids, Stranger Things 2. I just finished Stranger Things. That was pretty good.
Are you a fan of that?
A few weeks ago, that was a great series.
Which was the other one?
The Punisher on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't got to that one either.
I'm a Marvel guy, man. So I like watching it.
Are you a comic book guy? Do you like all the comic book stuff?
I like most of them. I like mostly more Marvel than DC, although I watch Gotham when it's on Fox. But I don't know, the movies, they don't work as well for the DC storylines that they do for the Marvel ones. I did watch Logan finally. That one was actually pretty good. That was a solid movie.
There you go, Joe.
Oh,
new glass I picked up a couple weeks ago at a local watering hole during our little excursion with Steam Engine downtown.
Okay.
Kelly's Depot Bar and Grill, nice little glass for $3.
Yeah, that's what's beautiful about glassware is glassware typically, unless you're getting into crystal and stuff, ain't really that expensive.
I went down there. We were eating dinner, and I had a couple Surly Ferociouses. I think that's what it's called. I
think I'm getting talked into getting another Xbox.
PS4.
I've never been a PlayStation guy, but I think I'm getting talked. And the only reason I mention it is because, of course, back in the day when I first started, that was a huge part of my reviews was the gaming as well. And I think that's not the whole reason, but one of the small reasons why things kind of blew up the way they did, because I would do a lot of things on the Xbox as well. One of them was watching Netflix. When the 360 came out, you used to be able to watch Netflix. Kind of like, what was that TV show where they showed the three cartoonish characters?
Science Theater.
Yeah. What was it again?
Mystery Science Theater.
Yes.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 or 2000.
Now, watching Netflix, and you could watch it yourself and three other people, so it'd be four people in the room, just like Mystery Science Theater, and you would see your little avatars kind of shadowed like that, and you'd be in a movie theater, and it was fun as heck because you could talk and everything and see your little guy moving around, and you could make little smart ass comments, and it was really fun to watch your favorite Netflix show and stream. And
the original host of that decided to reboot it here, I think, last year or something.
Okay, so it made a comeback. That's good.
Yep.
But I never really was a huge fan of it, but I do remember. Anyway, but my kind of part of that was doing the Netflix thing and on the Xbox, and it was a lot of fun to have three other people join in. So it'd be four of you in a room, and you could watch the same movie, watch the same TV show. Made it a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of just watching it by yourself or just with your whoever's in the room with you, right? So this way you could be by yourself and still watch something with some friends, like-minded friends, and that made it a lot of fun, just like this sort of thing. And that's the only reason I mention it again, because I don't know if they still have that capability in the new Xbox, but with Netflix. But if they do, it'd be awesome. to jump back in again and get back. For me, it's a huge reason to jump in that again, on top of these stupid games that I've been seeing lately. I am one of those people. I know some people say, why would you watch someone play video games? Well, why do I watch football? That's some idiot playing game. I don't play football either. I'll sit there for hours. Matter of fact, I spend money on it. You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference? Why do people watch this damn show? It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not only is this show ridiculous from time to time, but we also talk about beer and consume it right in front of our computers.
Yeah. Why do people watch me drink beer and give an opinion on it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And the same thing. Why do breweries send you all the merch, not the rest of us?
Yeah,
why don't they ask for our addresses?
Yeah, what makes me so damn special? You know what I'm saying? So it's that whole premise as well. But yeah, I am one of those people that will watch people play a game. To me, it's kind of fun, especially when they're great at it. And I'm like, damn, I suck at that game. Or it's just kind of fun to. Last night I was watching some people after the boxing match. I was watching some people game and they were live, and so it was fun to talk with them while they're playing the game. And it's kind of fun. YouTube, there's that whole YouTube gaming, and you can do that sort of thing. And it's funny because the people that I was talking to, and I did this as well on Instagram too. And the people that game don't use the Xbox for Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't know, and they weren't even aware that you could do that. And I was like, well, if you do, let me know, because I'd love to know if that feature is still in there.
Yes, that would be cool.
Earth, yeah, boobs will always have a strong following. That's hilarious. That's funny.
The housewives still.
Yeah, the house. Yeah, there's nowadays there's so much content, and we all watch all kinds of different crap. You know what I'm saying? And I started watching this animated show, and I'm trying to think of what was it called? Tarantula or something like that. It was on
Rick and Morty, was it?
It was on USA Network. Tarantula or something like that. It's all right. It's not great. You know what I'm saying? I finally watched that movie with Denzel, The Magnificent Seven.
Oh, yeah, I saw that when it came out, yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that. I finally got caught up on that.
Is it going to be worth buying?
I would watch it on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? I'd be good enough for that.
It's not as great as the original, then.
What did I watch it on? Was it no? It couldn't have been Netflix. I think I watched. Maybe it was on Amazon or something.
I think we got it on DirecTV when I had it then.
Or Hulu. Maybe it was on Hulu. I don't know. It was on one of them. You know what I'm saying? But no, it had. Okay, it couldn't have been Netflix, because I think I have the Apple TV, and so Apple has their own app that ties in all the other apps, and Netflix is one of them that's not tied in yet. So it had to be either Amazon Prime Video, or it had to be Hulu. It had to be one of the two that I watched that Magnificent Seven on. But it was good. I'm a huge Denzel. Okay, if it checks off these boxes, it's a definite Jody show, right? A movie. If it's a Western, check. Okay. Denzel, check. Okay. Lots of people getting shot up and bullets flying and attitude and typical man stuff. Check. And that all happened in there. So I'm watching it. Yeah. Guaranteed. Yeah. So if it's or a gangster movie, check. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Joe Pesci or Bobby De Niro's in it. I'm watching.
Oh, Joe Pesci. Oh, forget about it. Yeah. Joe Pesci. Oh, forget about it. Yeah, gangster movie. Joe Pesci. Check and check. Yes. People getting shot up and lots of stupid cliche-esque type of lines and stuff going back.
That's why Die Hard is such a good Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's like all those sort of movies that you can just predict the next thing they're going to say and do.
Godfather series, as far as that goes.
Godfather. You know what's hilarious about Godfather? Okay.
Carrie. That's a terrible movie. If you've ever seen that movie.
No, I haven't.
What about the Human Centipede? LOL.
What is that?
Oh, it's bad.
The Broom?
I don't want to ruin it by telling you about it. You have to pull it up on Netflix. I think it is on Netflix now.
I haven't seen The Room either. What is that? This is all new to me stuff right here.
I haven't seen The Room.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that is. But what was the one on Hulu? Okay, wait a minute.
That's right. It is disturbing, Gary.
Disturbing. Wow. Is this something I gotta watch? Okay, no, it was on Hulu. I watched it on Hulu. I'm looking at my Hulu account right now. I watched it on Hulu. Man, what was the other one I watched on Hulu? There's a Chance. I watched the second season of Chance on Hulu, which is a Hulu show. I like that. I like that main character on Chance. I forget his name, but hell, I think he had a. Did he have a TV series on Fox or something called Chance as well? I'm not sure, but in any case, I watched the second season of that. I started the second season of The Crown. I haven't finished it, so don't spoil it. And
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
I also started the second season of. Oh no, was it the fourth or fifth season of Turn? Whatever the latest season that hit Netflix. Anybody a Turn fan here?
I've seen.
Never heard of it.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. So I started that one. Haven't finished that one yet. Oh man, I've got a
Harry, stop it! You're bringing bad imagery there. I said that the second one was horrible too.
And then what about? Is anybody a Peaky Blinders fan?
Oh my gosh, right there,
dude.
Right there. That's one of the best.
Bears just signed in.
What
up, Joe?
Oh, hey, TD, what's up? No, Peaky Blinders has got to be the best period show.
It's back this month.
Yeah, and it's
week, I think.
No, it's on now. It's they've been putting it out every week.
No, the new season starts on Netflix, like the 22nd of that weekend.
Oh well, maybe Netflix, but it's airing now. It's been because I've been downloading it.
What season are you watching?
No, I don't watch it till it's over, but I've been downloading it. It's
okay. I mean, what season are you down? Is it downloading season 4 right now?
No, I think it's 5, maybe.
Because the newest season hits Netflix.
Let me see.
So you can binge it all at one time. I thought that was the case.
Let me see. It'll hit Netflix soon. Let me see. Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. Well, you might get overseas before we do, maybe.
Yeah. There's let me see. So okay, yeah, Tarantula is that animated series. It's okay. It's nothing super great. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. It's a watch. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I do see they got the other episodes. Damn it.
Yeah, it's airing right now. What is that? AMC show or something like that? Or
it's like out of BBC or something. I think it's overseas.
Yeah, BBC. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it looks like season 4, episode 6 ran this week, which is good because there's at least 6 episodes. Because these make up this show. Sometimes will have like 5 episodes will be one season. And so
right. Yeah, that's what they do over there in the UK on BBC. Yeah. They're very famous for that. I think this season actually got 10. I think, doesn't it?
That'll be great.
It's either 8 or 10. I think they got 8 or 10 episodes coming.
That's a nice
yeah, but the Peaky Blinders, man, is God, I love that show. It is it is one of my favorites. So I'm dying for that one. I've got episode 5, so however long it's going, if it goes 8, then I've got 3 more weeks to go before I can watch it because I don't like to start them until they're over. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good thing with Netflix when they have when you can just binge right through them easily.
Exactly. Yeah, that is the fantastic thing about them. So anyway,
you don't watch The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been downloading that one too.
I won't say anything.
Yeah. No, I've been downloading that one too. Some of them I download because it'll take them a while to hit Netflix or especially Netflix. It'll take them a while to hit. Sometimes they'll hit like Amazon Prime Video first.
Right.
And that's what's good about finally those of us that are Apple TV. If you're a cord cutter like myself, you were really looking forward to, for one, CBS finally hitting all your major streaming services. So finally we have CBS, so that completes like all your major local networks. So you finally have ABC, CBS, and Fox local networks on pretty much whatever streaming service you're using for like a cable sort of subscription. And then the Amazon Prime Video was a big one that finally hit the Apple TV. So, and that hit like last week, I think. So you can finally watch Thursday Night Football and all your Amazon content, Amazon video content on your Apple TV, which is nice. So,
yeah, of course, that's only going to be as good as long as they don't mess with net neutrality.
You know what's hilarious about that? I already yesterday got a message from AT&T. I have unlimited data on my phone, and I already got a message from AT&T that you're about to hit your 25 gigabytes. Once you go over that, 22 gigabytes they said, and then they'll start decreasing me. They haven't done that for these few years until what was it, before 2014. They haven't done that and since then. And now, literally, days ago, they took that net neutrality thing away, and now here we are. Boom! I'm already getting notifications from them that they're gonna cut me back. You know what I'm saying? My on my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? But in any case, that's all crazy. But I thought I'd just ask really quick to see what other people are streaming, because I'm a huge streamer. I stream literally everything I watch. So, and then on top of that, we do this sort of thing. So it's just
Joe. I think your mom just chimed in on the chat.
Yeah, and my sister. Yeah, I already know what they like. So
okay.
Yeah, we pretty much like the same thing. My sister likes slightly different shows. Me and my mom for sure have a similar taste. It's because of my mom that I like some of these darn shows, like all your European shows. It's because of her that I watch some of these darn British shows, at least.
Do you stream on Amazon Prime too?
Oh yeah, well that's what I've been talking about, the Prime Video. Yeah.
So are you streaming The Man in the High Castle?
Yeah, I tried to get into that. I couldn't get into it.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet. My wife loved it, but I'm just curious. A lot of
people liked it. It was a popular show. I just couldn't get into it. I tried watching it. Amazon to me is, I don't know, they kind of lack when it comes to their video, right? They're the ones that are kind of like trying to bring up the rear with their video. I feel like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we offer video as well. But this year they are putting more of a budget into it, more production and all that sort of thing, and so they are getting better with it, or at least making a better attempt. But we'll see how they do. But some of their shows have been pretty decent. I'm trying to pull them up as I speak, because some of their shows have been better for sure. What do I got in here? Let me see. They've got I did watch something on there. What do they got really quick here? Let me see. That Z, I watched that one. That was okay. The beginning of everything. I watched that one. I have, of course, they had those NFL series that are decent. That All or Nothing. If you're an NFL fan, those are nice ones, because they go like behind the scenes and show you all that sort of thing. Goliath was okay. I watched that. I started watching a few episodes of that. Fearless. If you're a Peaky Blinders fan, she's the sister from Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
So, and I kind of liked her. I liked her character in Peaky Blinders, and she's not too bad in that one. The Last Tycoon I watched and enjoyed. None of these are like super, right home to mama about, but they're a good watch when you don't have nothing else to watch, sort of thing. American Playboy I watched. If you're a fan of Hugh Hefner, that was a decent watch, and that was actually authorized by Hugh Hefner. He's actually telling his own story.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of photography, of course, like I am, The Collection was decent. A lot of really good old school film photography happening in that one. I love the production in that and that sort of thing. That it's kind of my style of photography as well. So that one appealed to me from that aspect. It's a lot of fashion and that sort of thing. I kind of dug that one. Of course, they have Vikings on there as well. If you're a fan of Vikings,
I was thinking about going back to rewatch that from. I started watching at one point and then stopped because there's always other stuff happening. But I might go back and watch that series.
yeah, it's I love Vikings. That's not too bad. Some of the later seasons got kind of, it's almost like some of the later seasons of stuff are trying to check off too many politically correct boxes for me. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, we have to do this now. Okay, we have to do that now. And you're like, all right.
You're like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. You're like, come on, this ain't historically correct. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But of course, some of the other series that I absolutely loved, I'm looking on here, and they've got the whole HBO thing on here as well. You can kind of watch some of those over again. The Wire was awesome.
I never finished that series for whatever reason.
Deadwood. Oh my God, Deadwood was awesome. I love Deadwood.
I tell you what, if you would have catch Deadwood back when you were like going to high school, you'd learn a whole new way of art form of cursing out people.
Deadwood was. Oh my God.
So I think did it better than that one.
Oh my God, Deadwood was awesome.
I still got to pick that series up.
Yeah. You're like, how did they put those words together? They pull it off so eloquently.
Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. If you could buy into Nuki, right? The character.
Yeah.
If you could buy into him, some people couldn't. They just couldn't buy into him as that main character. But if you could, then Boardwalk Empire was a good series.
Yeah.
That seems to be the main part of it, right? Band of Brothers was another decent one.
That series I also have the series that was done after the book that his kid wrote on the Pacific.
Oh yeah. That one was good too.
Yep, but it wasn't as personal, you could say, as who Ambrose was following. He was just following certain players during World War II, whereas his dad was following one whole unit from training to finish.
Okay. Here's a series, man. Who's a fan of American Horror Story?
I never finished the first season or any of the other ones. I mean, it seemed like it was good acting on it, though.
What I loved about American Horror Story is they pretty much use the same actors, and they have different, each season has its own theme, So, and it seems like season 6, now season 1 and season 2 were okay. Season 1 was awesome. Season 2 was good as well. Season 3 started kind of going off the rails a little bit, and 4 and 5 were just like, what the hell's going on here? Now, season 6, though, they started dialing it back in, and then season 7 is better again as well.
7 is with the clowns, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I know the last season they did was with the clowns, and that kind of I found intriguing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that one. It's not on right now. I think you still have to pay for it or watch it on the FX app, and they show you all the commercials, and I can't stand that. So I'm just waiting for it to hit Netflix, like you were talking about earlier. Veep is another one that I absolutely love.
I never watched Veep.
I'm a huge fan of what's her name?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, though.
Yeah, Veep is a good one. It's fast paced. Like you got to kind of keep up with it because they're shooting a lot at you, and it's half-hour shows, so they fly by,
Yeah, but now when HBO, like when it comes on, it's not till summer. But Ballers is I usually catch that one.
Yeah, Ballers, I have to catch up. I have to catch up on Ballers. That one's decent as well. Oh, there's so
I would
many.
have watched Vice Principals too, 'cause I heard that was pretty funny.
I watched a couple episodes. I need to get back to that one. I haven't revisited that one. I have to get back to it. But yeah, there's a lot on, and there's a lot of yes, my mom loves Veep.
And Westworld's another one. If you get a chance to watch that, that's actually really good.
Oh, okay.
It's got Anthony Hopkins and Jeffrey. Can't remember his name. That's like one of the lead actors on there, and it's like the futuristic thing. I mean, it's a good TV show they made out of that movie that came out from the book years ago.
Yeah,
it makes you question a lot of things about, automation and computers and how far you may go.
Oh, does it really? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to check that out as well. I was trying to check out my Apple app because that has my like queue in it of stuff that I need to watch. I started watching this movie Lawless, but I didn't finish it because it's in the. Have you ever heard of Tubia app?
Never heard of that one.
Or Tubi TV, but they show commercials, and I didn't realize that. So they started showing this movie, and you don't even have to sign up for it. It'll show you the movie and everything like that, but they show commercials, and so I was like, oh man, I got to find this movie now where it don't have commercials because it looked pretty good. Victoria's another series. My mom, she's responsible for that mess.
Were you big into the X-Files back in the day?
No, I'm not a sci-fi guy as much.
Okay. I was going to say, because that's back in January, but I don't know if you watched it or not.
But now there's a sci-fi movie that I put in here, the Predestination, because that one looked pretty good. I looked at the trailer. Predestination seemed okay. I thought maybe I could get into it.
It does remind me, I need to watch the last Alien movie. I haven't watched that yet.
And then, of course, The Deuce. Did anybody watch The Deuce on HBO?
Yeah, The Deuce was pretty good.
The Deuce was pretty good, huh? If you're into what is that? What's his name? Tarantino. What's his name?
No, not that one. Not
Didn't he make that?
No, Tarantino didn't do Deuce. I think it was.
Oh no, it was.
Maybe Scorsese did that one.
Is it Scorsese
that did The Deuce? I thought for HBO.
Yeah, it has that.
Franco's pretty solid on there. James Franco and acting on there.
If you're a fan of Franco, that's what it is. If you like him, then you'll like the Deuce, right? But that Victoria, all that like 13th and 14th century stuff, from across the pond, the Crown and all that my mom's responsible for all that mess. She got me into all that stuff. Yeah, my mom, she's funny. But yeah, honestly, that's where I got all that mess from. But in any case, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate. Sorry for the long-winded show here, but I promised we would only be maybe a half hour, and look at that, here we are, boom. But hey, we didn't go 5 hours, and we didn't do 6 hours. So eat it, Sparky.
Didn't get the drunk on 8 in there.
Yeah, we didn't do 8. So yeah. So Neary can eat it for the smoke, and Sparky can eat it for the 8-hour show.
I think Earth suggested the 8-hour show.
Oh yeah, Earth just wants like an all-nighter. Earth
wants all-nighter. Okay.
Yeah, he just wants like.
We'd almost have to do that like say a Friday night into Saturday or something.
Basically, Earth wants a Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yeah.
Basically, right? Yeah. That's exactly what he wants. Yeah. Yeah, he just wants us, and without all the raising the money, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now they did get pretty drunk on that darn show too, right?
Yeah, they got pretty hammered. I mean, drunken one was pretty hammered for sure.
No, but I mean on the Jerry Lewis territory.
Oh, and that one? Oh, I don't know.
I think some of the
at that point, Jerry kind of disappeared, so he probably was.
But my dad, growing up, now when I was a pretty little boy because he moved out when I was young. But in any case, that was one of the things he would do. Jerry Lewis telethon. He would stay up all day and night watching the whole thing from the time it started to the time it ended. He would that was his donation to the cause. He was gonna Stay up and watch it all night. And he would stay up and watch
I'm sure
it.
back then some of the adults had drinking games too. They played along with it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
to stay involved, you had to do something, you know.
Yeah. No, he's no stranger to drinking. That's for sure. But yeah,
but it was definitely different back then, though, because it was like you couldn't escape it. Nowadays, it's like, oh, it's on. I didn't realize it was on. Like back then, everybody knew when it was on.
And I don't think he was the only show, right? There was another one that wasn't there, or did he do two of them?
Well, he did that one. He had like all three. Back then, it was a turn the TV set. It was all three channels were locked down by Jerry Lewis.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Earth says, I want to see who can hang. Yeah. It might be the host will be the one that would fall out first. Who knows? No, I think Earth has seen me in action. I think he's got a lot of faith in me, more faith in. You know how I was watching that boxing match, and sometimes the boxer don't have any faith in himself, and you got the coach in there, preaching out, "Come on, man, you can do it." I don't know, Mickey. I don't know. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And you can do it. Come on, Rock. You can do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can do it anymore. Hey.
And the coach just tells in that speech, it just sticks to his head throughout the rest of the series.
Go ahead, cut me, Mick. Go ahead, cut me. Go ahead, cut me, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what Earth is doing right now, man. You can do it, man. You can do it. I don't know, Earth. I don't know. I don't know I can do it, man. I don't know.
Nothing is over.
I got to go to the church and get the priest to give me a blessing and all that. I don't know.
Where you been, Rock?
Yeah.
Gone soft on me, Rocky. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you could tell. Now I have to admit, when Rocky came out, I was pretty young, and those were the days. Rod and Andrew, you might remember these days, because when Rocky came out, we went and seen it 550 million times in a row at the movie theater. Like, that's what you did. When you liked a movie, you literally went right back and watched it over again, and you just go right back. I think we literally watched it
the same day
5 times.
Back in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the same day. I think we went back and watched it 3 or 4 times. Seriously. Do you remember that? Now, Rocky was one of those movies, and so was Grease. Grease and Rocky. Now, to get even more personal with Grease, my mom went to Excelsior High School, which is where they filmed Grease. So it was a personal thing for her, because that was the high school. Literally, the high school they filmed Grease in was the high school my mom graduated from.
So, wow.
So
that's good. I was afraid you were going to say you had Olivia Newton-John pants, and I was going to really get worried.
Well, that was going to be the next. That was going to. Now, it takes me a few more beers to admit that I wore the tiger print with the leather pants. But, and that I do eat peanut butter. Peanut butter. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, call me Sandy.
Yeah. But yeah. Carrie says, that was that movie as well. Yeah. Yeah, you must have dropped him.
You must have dropped him at one time.
Yeah, exactly,
A drunken one said that.
Yeah, probably a few times. Who knows, man? Yeah. Yeah, that would explain a lot. Yeah, I have a good friend named Adrian. Yo, Adrian. Yeah. Yeah, that's. Oh, dude. Who don't know that, right? Yeah.
That became part of like pop culture.
Yep. See, my mom says I went to ride out. Dude, trust me. During Grease, my mom explained to me, and then of course we drove, because the school wasn't that far from where we lived, and so of course my mom would drive me by the school, and Joey, that's where we hung out right there, Joey, on those bleachers. See, they filmed Grease right there on those bleachers, Joey, and that's where you know what I'm saying? Yeah, trust me. Yeah, that's how that works. But you remember, right? When a good movie came out, you would just immediately come out of the movie, and Rocky was the worst because even though I was just a little kid, you still walked out of there chest puffed, right? You're like, yeah, right? Mess with me now, yeah. I had a tiger, yeah. You know what I'm saying, right? You were ready to kick some ass. You walked out of that movie, right? Yeah, Rocky was awesome. And it's still to this day, Sylvester Stallone makes a movie, I have to see it. It's like an obligation. It's like Star Wars for the Star Wars nerds. They're having their huge weekend right now. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
I guess the new Star Wars movies out because I'm seeing a post on my Facebook like crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah, it came out Friday.
I'm not a Star Wars person, so it's kind of like,
It came out Friday. I'm not either, and I don't even watch TV, and all you could do was hear about Star Wars. It was but yeah, who was it? Someone in the chat said they've seen it 2 times this weekend already.
Star Wars?
Yeah, they said they loved it that much. They went and watched it 2 times. Someone said it.
I wouldn't doubt if they liked it. I know Star Wars fans are fanatics.
And Sparky said, Joe, she's here. I know she's here. She's crazy.
And she also chimed in earlier that she went to Rydell as well.
Are you kidding me? Where do you think I get her from? That's what I'm saying. Oh my God, yeah, I don't get her from my dad. That's for sure. All this, I get it from her. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I went to Toronto. We went up there to a trip to Toronto on vacation back, I think it was like 2010 or 2011. And the last day we were there, they were actually shooting the International Film Festival they have once a year in Toronto. And like that last day before we were about to leave, I was down there around some of the stars, and guess who walks out? Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, really?
It still looks just as good as she did back then as well. She's, at that time she's in her mid-50s or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty solid still.
Yeah, my mom says, yeah. Of course, she calls me Joey. So Joey has been laughing like that his whole life. Yeah, it's
I'm sorry. Carrie's upset because we're not acknowledging she met Corey Feldman.
Oh, Corey Feldman.
Yeah, he's been a singer for the last couple years, I guess.
Oh, on her 50th birthday. That is cool. Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you meet someone, if you meet someone you like on your 50th birthday, it's pretty awesome,
I think if you meet someone that you kind of grew up watching, that kind of idolize. I mean, if I ran into Kim Fields, I still get, back in the day watching Tutti Facts of Life and then living single. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious, bro. Yeah, we're right there. If I met Kim Fields, Janet Jackson from Good Times, Janet Jackson.
Or Charlene on Different Strokes.
Or Thelma from Good Times. Son, I'm telling you, life is good. You know what I'm saying? And if Thelma would give me a date, like if we could go to dinner and talk, you know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? If Thelma's listening to this right now, you know what I'm saying? You can email me. We can get in touch. You in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Joe, if you actually look at a lot of these old TV shows that were their own, if you actually literally trace them back, they actually lead back to one core TV show that got them all started. It varies between series because you've got the Jeffersons. That was an offshoot of Archie Bunker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, believe it or not, Good Times was also an offshoot of Archie Bunker from another series in between.
Yeah. Well, Maud was an offshoot of All in the Family.
Yep, Maud was Archie's sister-in-law.
Yeah. Man, you couldn't even put either of those shows on TV now. People would get
you see Sparky? Yeah, Sparky.
You put even Archie Bunker on TV. How many political organizations are going bananas right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. We all have to stop now because Sparky mentioned MASH. And MASH.
Oh, yeah.
ruined my childhood. Okay.
MASH was the first show I heard him say like "son of a bitch" on the episode. I was like, "Wow,
MASH.
that on TV."
There's a lady in the chat that absolutely made me watch MASH. Like, if you wanted to watch TV and MASH was on, you're done, son. You have to watch MASH, and then you can watch other stuff you want to after that. But when MASH was on, that was it. Yeah, everybody watched MASH in our house. That was it.
I loved watching MASH.
I did too.
It was a funny show, but TV was different then. You know what I'm saying?
The Colonel Blake episode was sad though.
Yeah, oh my God, my mom's responsible for MASH. I wasn't a huge MASH fan, but I know all the episodes because, like I said, you had to watch it. You know what I'm saying? She made us watch it. But yeah, no, MASH, just like you said, introduced a bunch of new talents. Yeah, and those talents are Hall of Famers, really, right? I mean, legends. I mean, that show produced a lot of famous actors. But yeah,
Alan Alda even directed and produced several of the episodes as well as wrote.
Yeah.
Now, Carrie says that it said, I felt like I was dreaming. I have had dreams for real where I met him and finally happened, and he talks to me online too. Wow, that is cool. Yeah, my mom says MASH. Yeah, dude, I think that was my mom's most favorite show ever. I mean, she loved MASH. My mom was a MASH nut. You know what I'm saying? Well,
at least it wasn't a Falcon Crest or Dynasty, right? So.
Oh my God, yeah, no, those things happened too, but I think MASH was more of her thing. My mom worked a lot. I don't talk about this a lot on here, I guess, but my mom was my hero, man. My mom worked a lot. My mom would, 7 in the morning till 9:30 at night worked. I mean, to be a small business owner, an Italian or white lady raising 2 black kids in the 70s was not easy.
Great praise to her.
Single mother, you know what I'm saying, and still had at that time in those early days she had employees and had to take care of all that sort of thing. And at one time she had 2 businesses she was running, and hardworking actually, and that's where I get it. You know what I'm saying? So women raised me. You know what I'm saying? So I have all the respect for my mom in the world, and I don't say that enough on here, I guess, but and she knows. I've told her 100 times, but yeah, she's responsible for all this, bro. You know what I'm saying? In every way, she's responsible. So, yeah, if 5 Oak ever comes and gets me, I'm like, dude.
Well, knowing you, like I got to know you, I said, Mom did a good job. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The jury's still out there, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, because this is too much crazy for all. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you kidding? Yeah, but I was raised, my whole life in a beauty salon. My mom owned a beauty salon, and I think that's where all the
like coming together now. The beauty salon, the high school.
Yeah, it's and that's why Greece was such a big thing because a lot of it was about beauty school, and my mom related to that a lot. On top of that, it was filmed in her high school, and you know what I'm saying. So. And a lot of that I could relate to because I was raised in a beauty salon. You know what I'm saying? With and my grandma as well. My grandma, I called my grandma Mom as well, so that confused a lot of people if they were around my mom and my grandma because I'd be like Mom, Ma. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, women raised. So yeah, and I around them, and then plus in a beauty salon and. Some of those perverted old ladies that would want me to shampoo their heads and be like, oh, yeah.
Joe's going to have a Me Too moment.
Yeah, and I think that's where all this gift of gab comes from because, you're in you know what I'm saying?
Gossip, who's doing this, who's doing that.
Yeah, Yeah.
What's
so
going on in this side of town?
I'm telling you, man, that's where all this comes from. It's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
I could almost equate to where you're at there, just because my mom was a single mom raising me, and so she dragged me to hair salons with her, and I just sit there and listen to women gossip and talk and all kind of stuff too. And it's like, man, why can't I stay at home? Because you're like 4.
Yeah. We literally, she had us a room in the back, and we had a futon back there, and you could change it to a bed, so you literally slept there. And when she needed to paint the shop, guess who was the painter? Guess who was the fixer? Guess who was? You know what I'm saying? It was. But that's the way it goes for kids that are born into small business owners, family business. You just grow up working, and so that's life. And so, to this day, I get told a lot. I got told just last week by a couple of times, you work too much, and I'm like, you need to shut up. You know what I'm saying?
You don't work enough.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what else is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect me to do? Just sit around? And you know what I'm saying? So, when I'm not working 12 hours a night or 14 hours a night, I'm doing this, or I'm doing my photography, or doing, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you do stuff.
It's how you keep your sanity.
Yeah. That's why I'm like,
they're like, how are you going to know what's going to happen to the Kardashians if you're working all the time?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? And what you're like all upset about Trump because you're watching too much damn TV. You got too much time on your hands, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get a hobby, do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's the way I look at it. So whatever. But
thank goodness for beer being a hobby.
Yeah, so my mom's saying, hey, they gave you gifts. Yeah, that was one thing about being raised in a beauty salon. Every birthday or a holiday that you gave gifts, all those ladies give you gifts, man. It is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So you'd have 500 million gifts, man. I ain't even kidding you. I mean, you would have so many gifts, man, because my mom had a pretty large clientele. And
Whoa, let's see. Drunken one says, easy, Jody, you're about to lose your man card.
You know how many times I've lost my man card? I don't even think I have one anymore. I think I was forced to grind it up, to shred it a while back. Yeah, I think it's gone. Even if I do have one, I don't think there's any points on it anymore.
Don't think there's any points on it anymore.
Yeah, Carrie says, this is my hobby. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that we could be your hobby. That is awesome, man. This is fun for me. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do for fun. Photography is what I do for fun. And I'm fortunate enough I have a job that I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't feel like a lot of work to me. Anyway, we are really out here this time. Dear God. Oh,
doing it reminds me though, Joe, if you would check out my I got that gaming channel, that Random Gamer on YouTube, so you can check that out there for some of the gaming stuff.
Yeah. Let me go to YouTube then.
Because I never stay on any game. I'm just random about it. So I called it Random Gamer.
Random Gamer. Okay. See how you play a little bit here, and you're like, I'm done with this.
You're like, are you going to finish this other story? I don't know. I might get back to it.
Is it all one word? Is it all?
It's on a PS4.
Is it 2 words?
Just 2 words.
Okay. Random Gamer. There's a couple that I see here. Do you have an R for a logo or?
Let me take a look at that one there.
Because here, I'll show the screen here. You can show you.
No, I didn't see the other ones that were out there. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. It looks like. So
let's see here. Now the logo is like a beer with a controller in front of it.
Oh, so that shouldn't be hard to spot. So let's see here. Is it? Let's see. Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of them.
Let me do this. What I'll do. I'll pull it up here.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, that's it right there. I was going to put a link in the side chat, but that's it.
There we go. That way everybody can see it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to do it this way. That way everybody can see it. If you're into gaming, here's Rod J's Random Gamer YouTube page. So go ahead and subscribe to him. I'll subscribe. And check him out. There we go, man. And yeah, happy holidays as well. Yeah, Drunken One says happy holidays. And hi to everybody. And Siri. I mean, not Siri. Sorry. Alexa, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
There you go, man. It's official now. You got it from the Echo device. So there you go, man.
The Echo device.
Yeah, I have to say it that way. Otherwise, I probably triggered everybody's device right there anyway, just talking to mine, right? So thank you very much, everybody that tunes in. And like I said, we'll see you. Okay, what day was that again?
Are you doing it Tuesday?
Yeah, so we have the Tuesday show, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a Friday show, 1 p.m. Eastern, every Friday. And we'll have 2 of those before we actually hit the December 31st New Year's show, which will be small shows, like I said, for the GMT, one for GMT, and then one for each of the 4 U.S. time zones. So tune into that. If you don't catch either of the weekday shows, then tune in for that New Year's show. It's a lot of fun. I'll have music playing. It's high spirits, man. Beer will be flowing. If you want, you can get a Guinness Extra Stout if you want to try to drink what I'll be drinking. If not, then whatever you want to drink, or maybe just a particular stout you really enjoy. Or maybe you have a Guinness Extra Stout and other beers. I mean, because, we'll drink more than one beer. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing you. My email is jodreviews@gmail.com. Kim Phils, don't forget,
Sweet dreams on that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? You never know. So we'll see you guys. Appreciate it, man. Peace out.
See you Tuesday, Joe.
All right, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Later.
See you Tuesday.